Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome on in to episode 12 of the KoppsCast right here at twitch.tv/bcops. As always, I'm your host, bcops, where we play a variety of stuff on here, mostly RPGs. And, of course, every other Thursday, we do these little interviews, these little talk shows, this podcast, you could say. Where we have different content creators on and show them a little love. Appreciate all the friends that are already in here. Kiro, thank you so much for that 4-month sub. Seriously, means so much. Hope you're doing well. Robbie was in here as well. Robbie, hope you're doing well too. And Inuyasha, welcome on in. And yeah, like I was saying, we do these special interviews with various folks, different content creators. Lately, I've had a lot of friends that I know personally, and this one's no exception. Really, a really good friend of mine. I've known her for about a few years. Incredibly talented artist. Just really great friend. Really awesome to chat with. Jordan, welcome on in. Not calling it the cat chat. I really dropped the ball on that. This is the cat chat, episode 12, or KoppsCast episode 12, aka the cat chat. But anyway, I guess let's bring her out, shall we? Like I said, she's really good friend of mine. Amazing artist. She's a streamer as well on Twitch. You should all check out. Does a whole bunch of games on here too, especially Pokemon Puzzle League, but we'll get into that. Anyway, so here's Kat. Kat, how's it going?
It's going. How's it going with you?
Good. So
that lovely little crop you got going on there.
So just to preface for everybody, we're doing something a little different today. Kat generally never has a webcam on her, and I respect that. I wouldn't force her to come on if she wasn't comfortable. But we had the idea of because she's been doing some illustrations on her channel lately, and had this idea of maybe we can have a little fun with this, and have her on and maybe illustrate something for us. So I gave her a few ideas. This
and
one,
I denied all of them at first, and then I finally decided to go with the first one.
Yeah, so this one that she's doing right now, I suggested Lulu from Final Fantasy X, and she, like she said, she was kind of against it, but then she seemed to accept that idea, so I'm really stoked to see how this is going to come out.
That Mog is so cute, and I always forget that she like plush toys, and because she's so dark and brooding looking, and then she's got like belt skirt madness and a Mog plushie or a Cactar or whatever. Like, she's got so many cute little plushies.
She is Final Fantasy X's best girl, right?
I mean, she's no Yuna, but
true, yeah. Well, I guess that's two completely different ballparks.
Yeah. I just love that works so hard and fawns over a boy whose name she never actually says out loud.
Mm-hmm. He never told her. His name, never.
We will never know if it's Titus or Titus. No.
And Jordan, thank you for the shout out. Yeah, please give Kat's channel a follow.
Oh yes, thank you so much.
Check her out over there, where she does plenty of I guess. Waka's best girl. Deadpan, welcome on in, friend. How you doing? There's some other distracting aspects of Lulu that can make the Moogle easy to forget.
Whatever are you talking about? Whatever you talking about? I don't.
He's referring to the plot. He's referring to the plot.
Oh yes, of course, the plot. How could I forget the plot?
But anyway, Kat, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. That is every other Thursday on at 7 p.m. EST. Or I mean any other time. I don't mind jumping into voice chat if you ever need someone to talk to, of course.
Yeah. That's it's like I said, it's always fun chatting with you. And I mean, just before we went live, I was actually trying to think like the last time we did do a call like this.
Oh, it was so long ago. The problem is I just tend to not, because I'm a bad person. But I knew I had to when you're like, hey, you want to be on the thing? I'm like, yes. with some trepidation, but yes.
Well, I'm glad I was able to persuade you then.
Yes,
absolutely. And then we can have a little fun with this, you know?
Yeah. Because, yeah, I probably wouldn't have painted Lulu without this, so, yeah.
Bad person, badass person. That's what we're up. Exactly. But yeah, so, you know, how's everything been with you, Kat? You know, it's insane times in the world right now, but, you know, you and your family seem to be, you know, all healthy, all doing well.
Yeah, we're all doing okay. Speaking of family, you might hear my brother in the background. He's autistic and nonverbal, and those are just his stims, and they're all happy noises, so don't worry if you hear something odd in the background. But no, everything's been pretty good, pretty calm, actually. I've been up to my ears in commissions, which is nice. But yeah, other than that, it doesn't feel like much has changed for me, because I was working at home before, and I'm still kind of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good that, you know, you're able to do work from home. Like I know, like I mean, I won't, if you don't want to get into like your main job stuff outside of like your
there's no problem there. We can talk about anything. I'll tell you if I can't because of NDAs.
But so in that case, I mean, your main job is primarily like in the movie industry, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So like
I am a glorified tracker. So they call it a construction accountant assistant, but I literally just do data entry most of the day. But somebody's got to do it, because if we don't know how much we're spending on the movie, then the producers will go nuts. Mm-hmm. Be bad.
So when you were primarily like doing that work, you're mostly like going there, but did they allow you to work from home, or are you off at the moment, or how does that work?
Currently, I'm off. Some jobs are doing work from home, especially for accounting positions, because there's absolutely to be in the building. But right now I'm currently between shows, and I'm not too worried about it, because I'd rather be safe than sorry in this unprecedented times that we're dealing with. But yeah, there's it's quite a different beast. I have a family member who is working right now from home, and she has to go in and get tested every week, even though she's working from home, and it's just a lot to make sure that everyone is being safe and being smart.
For sure.
And considering, I remember a few years ago, H1N1 was going around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got that from work, so that's part of why I'm like, I'll wait until we see how a show goes, and then maybe I'll think.
Putin Pig, thank you for Putin Big. Sorry, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I remember because I think like during the H1N1 stuff that went down. Like I remember I was in college at the time, and like they didn't. I don't remember if they made everyone take it anyway. I think it was just like a mandatory thing or a voluntary thing. Sorry. But yeah, and, you know, once this came out, like you kind of figured that, you know, this would be like the same kind of situation, and it just ended up becoming something else, and it's just you know, crazy that we're like, you know, 8 months into this now, and like, you know, we're still just. You know.
It still feels like March, I swear.
like how's it October, like next week, like. Where the hell does year go?
That's the thing. I keep being like, my birthday's so far away. I'm like, nah, mate, my birthday's in. That's coming up sooner than I want to admit to myself.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so, you know, having you on this Thursday, and you know, we're. Again, while we were you know, starting this up, I was trying to think of you know, when we first met and when we first got to know each other. I believe it was a few years ago.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I met you through Giant Sword podcast, right?
Yeah, so yeah, because I knew Taylor, or I
Yeah.
met Taylor because he had his channel going, and then I ended up subbing to his Patreon, and
Oh,
then
okay.
so I subscribed to that for a little bit, and then he mentioned he was on a podcast. Well, he had like 2 podcasts at the time, and then yeah, he mentioned
That's right, he did.
and then he mentioned LHG, which I ended up subscribing to that, and then I think because he also, I became better friends with him, did some freelance stuff for him, and then they invited me on to the GSP podcast a couple times.
Nice.
And yeah, and then I kind of reluctant like I had no idea what Discord was, because they did like the whole, kind of like how we're doing like through Discord. So
Exactly, yeah. I
it,
remember when, because I've also been on the GSP Giant Sword podcast, and I remember when Nick was like, this Skype thing isn't working. Do you have Discord? I'm like, what's Discord? So they are the reason I'm Discord in the first place.
Mhm.
So I got to thank them for that. Because yeah, I followed Taylor on Twitch when I was working on so I want to say 2012.
Mhm.
And then it was after random like tweets back and forth, we did eventually add each other on like Skype and Discord, and yeah, then I was on the GSP, and then I was introduced to the other people on the GSP, and I believe that's how I met you.
Yeah, because I think you were a guest on there like around the time I was, and then that was like my first time like joining Discord, and then in turn just I think I either messaged you like on through there or on like Twitter or something.
Yeah, something like that. I remember when they first asked me to be on that, I was like, oh man, they made a terrible mistake, but they'll realize and they'll never ask me to do it again. And then they asked me to do it again, and I was like, well, that backfired. That didn't go the way I thought it would at all, but okay, cool.
It was a nice chat. Yeah, it was a fun episode. It's fun chatting with them, with Nick and Taylor.
Yeah, always, for sure.
And back when like Maddie was on there too.
And that's the thing. That's how I got in touch with Maddie, and that's well. There's a little bit more to the story than that, but eventually that connection did lead to me and Maddie doing our own little podcast. And it's funny, podcasts are actually a lot of work. Who would have guessed?
Yep, they are.
So we haven't been able to continue, but maybe one day we can jump back into that.
Yeah, and I'd like to touch on that a little bit, a little later.
Yeah.
And yeah, so talk to you through that, and then did some freelance work for you too. They made your logo for the podcast and stuff, so that was fun.
Logo. I still love that goddamn logo. It is so good. And it was like so we give him kind of the idea of what we wanted to accomplish, but we had, because like even though I'm an artist, I'm not a graphic designer. So we knew the vibe we wanted to go for, but I didn't know what it looked like. So it was like, here's our color palettes and our ideas, inspiration, and have fun. And like immediately he came back with this amazing logo. I'm like, dude, that's a graphic designer for you.
Yeah, like that was just like one of those like instances like you have somewhat of an idea of, or like something you want incorporated into it, and then I just kind of like put 2 and 2 together, and it was like, all right, well, yeah.
And you did it in a magnificent way. Like we never would have thought about that. Like, again, not a graphic designer, so that's part of it. But yeah, it's a cool logo. I wish I could show it off, but I don't have a physical version of it anywhere. So
you should do like stickers, or I mean, I remember when I first made it, I was like, you should do shirts, and like I think I even gave you the files to purposely like put them on a shirt.
A 1 color, a 2 color, and a 3 color version of the logo. And my only issue is when you order shirts, you have to keep the shirt somewhere. That's the only reason why I'm like, I know a place that'll do a small MOQ, but yeah, I'm just lazy.
I mean, you could just do it through like Teespring or
that's true,
some other site, just because then you like literally like don't have to worry about that, and then you'll still get like some profit out of it too. So you could have like that funded towards like your next think of merch you want to do. So
no, that's part of why I love sites like Redbubble, because it's like, yeah, I don't have to worry about warehousing all the stuff. It's just there waiting for me. Nice.
Yeah. So wanted to get into a little bit of your background before we go full on and talk about like
the nerdy stuff.
The nerdy stuff, the main art stuff. But yeah. So did you? Well, I guess to somewhat go into our stuff. So did you went to school for art, or like what was your primary? And I take it was like your primary thing you wanted to go to school for, or did you have like other aspirations when you were growing up?
So originally, where I used to live, school was important, but it wasn't like 100% necessary. So I actually didn't go through high school thinking like I have to get into a college or university. I happened to live very close to one of the best art schools in the province, in the country even. So there were two things I learned when I moved. One is that applications for college and university end in February, which I thought they ended closer to the end of the year, because I don't know, that made sense to me. And that it cost money to apply to college, like a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I missed the first deadline because I didn't realize how. And then I wanted to save up money, so I missed a second deadline. So I took like a year off to make money. And after I did that, I had a boyfriend at the time who was like, you really should go to college. And I'm like, I don't really see the point. I would just want to do art. I don't really need schooling for that. And then a family member is like, you should work in film, but to work in film, you have to have a post-secondary education. I'm like, oh, look, I'm going to college. And so I applied and I got in, and it was just a 3-year program, but it was a fun program because it had a wide range of focus. We had life drawing, we had life painting, we had sculpting, we had 3 other classes I can't remember off the top of my head. There was like a digital course, which was always painful for me because I've been doing digital art for years and people had never touched a computer. But yeah, originally I was only going to do the 2-year program. I decided to bump it up to the 3 after working on recall and earning enough money to be able to afford a 3rd year. And then, yeah, pretty much while I was in college, I got apparently that post-secondary education didn't mean that much. And yeah, the rest is history. But I did go to school, and I feel like I'm a better artist because of it. But that being said, don't go to school for art if it's super expensive, because it's kind of a waste of money. Like, it's just a way to get you in debt so that you have to slave away for people, and that's no fair and no fun.
Yeah, that's why for me, because I went for art too, but I went to like the lesser expensive school.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mentioned a second ago that it was one of the best schools in the country. My tuition for the first year was a little over $3,500 or like $3,500, and then the second year was $4,000, and then the 3rd year was a little under $4,000. That was my entire program, and I hear people who spend $30K a year, and I cry because it's too much.
Yep.
Don't spend that kind of money on an art education. Go to art classes instead.
Yeah, where I am, we have the top like art school in the country, pretty much, or one of them. Right. And but it's super tough to get in there anyway. So I'm just like, I'm not even gonna bother with this. So I just figured apply to a school that that I can get in, because like it didn't matter to me either way, and like I'd rather like you not have to spend like way more money than I need to, if I can get like the same degree here.
Well, that's the thing. Like, my school wasn't known for my program; it was known for its animation program, and its illustration program a little less so. And everyone in my program, which was visual and arts, was using that program to build up their portfolio, and so everyone would talk about, oh, well, I'm applying for animation, or I'm applying for illustration, and they're like, what are you applying for? I'm like, nothing. I'm literally here to get my piece of paper, and then I'm gone. because I don't want to spend money when I can make money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe that's just a weird thing that I feel, but it's a thing that I feel.
So did you get a degree in film too, since you're in that industry, or is that
No,
like
no, film doesn't care about what you get a degree in.
Okay.
My boss had a degree in English, my other boss has a degree in fine art, another boss has a degree in history. They don't care. They just want some kind of post-secondary education. Maybe it's not true for everywhere. Maybe that's just true for my area, which is called Hollywood North, but I mean, so is the other two big film areas here, so for whatever that's worth. But yeah, it's just one of those things where when I hear people saying, "Oh, I'm going to school for film," it's like, don't go to school for something else, something cheaper, because most film schools are non-accredited, which means they're more expensive. And then go join the union and get a job that way, because they're just going to unteach you anything you learn in film school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad truth.
Yeah, for sure. So how many years have you been doing art for?
How many years have I what? Sorry?
Have you been doing art for just, your whole life basically, or was there like a certain point where like you really really got into it?
So originally, when I was a little kid, I hated doing art, which is always funny when that happens. But I didn't like being told what to draw, and in elementary school and whatever, they were like, "You have to draw this," and like, I don't want to draw that. But then one day something clicked, and I fell in love with art, and I think I would have been like around 10. But I didn't start taking it seriously until I got to high school. So let's say 13. 13 is probably when I started being like, I want to do art. It's the only thing I'm good at. And then people were like, you should find a real job. And I'm like, or I could keep flailing against the wall and do this.
And but it was like a lot of the same stuff that you're still doing now, like a lot of character illustrations and stuff.
Yeah, it was more original content for fan art, but it was all, pretty much this. It wasn't necessarily watercolor. I didn't find watercolor as a love until I did my second year of college, because we did a thing where every month we'd use a different medium, and I hit watercolor, and I'm like, this is the thing for me. Oh yeah, find a real job is something I hear constantly. Like, I was on the bus to school, because again, I live really close to my campus. And this one lady was like, "Oh, you're going to that art school. That's lovely. What are you going to do after that? Go be a lawyer?" And I'm like, I'm going to be an artist. Why would I be a lawyer? If I wanted to be a lawyer, wouldn't I go to law school? Why would I waste a couple of years at this school? I don't understand. What is your thinking, lady?
Some folks can't accept that you just want to do what makes you happy, you know?
Well, and that's the thing. They think, like, to be an adult, you have to have a job you hate. And even though my job is accounting, again, technically speaking, it is actually data entry. I don't necessarily hate that job. I hate the hours. Too long. But the job itself is fine. I'm not miserable at it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't understand people who are like, "Yo, you have to hate your day job." No, you don't. If you do, that sucks, and a lot of times there's nothing you can do about that. But it's not a requirement to be an adult.
So so with your art, you mentioned you do a lot of your own original characters, and
yes.
then you do some inspired ones based on various games, anime.
Yes, Kiseki. Just say I do Kiseki, and yeah. No, I went actually a really long time in my life where I'm like, I won't do fan art. I mean, I'm better than that. And then I'm like, this is fun. I want to do this all the time. And then I did do it all the time. And I'm like, I miss IOC. And so yeah, now we're back to a mix.
Do you get since you've jumped into doing more like fan art stuff? I take it like that's like where a lot of your where a lot of your commissions come from, or do you get like a lot of like commissions where like, or do you get any commissions just as like a general question, I guess, where if someone has like an original character they would like to see you create, kind of like they give you the ideas of like what they're like, and then like try to see like what you come up with.
If I had to guesstimate, I would say I do about 70% fan art commissions and about 30% original stuff.
Okay.
And it's only as high as 30 because for a while there, this person was like very kindly wanted their mermaid OC painted, and I'm like, I can paint mermaids digitally, not traditionally. And yeah, so I did a lot of OC commissions for that. I have done a commission where it was like just a description, but most of the time it's references. They usually have other artists have done fan art for them or commissions for them, and that always makes my job a little easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool though. And yeah, you mentioned you're doing pretty well with commissions like lately. You said you're like booked pretty solid at the moment with different requests.
At least solid enough where I feel like, okay, good. I'm not gonna go hungry for a bit. Yay! Not that I'm hungry. I am doing a-okay despite these crazy unprecedented times.
Yeah, for sure. Dub, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. Kopp's on the screen. Life is good.
Life is good.
But yeah, it's good that you're making that extra dough and keeping busy in the meantime.
Yeah, and plus commissions are usually a lot of fun because people will have ideas that I wouldn't have come up with normally. Like, so it's like, oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to paint. Or again, most of the time digital, because unfortunately my traditional quite a bit more expensive because I have to actually buy the canvas and whatnot.
Right.
So I unfortunately have to charge a bit more, but it's usually like I don't know. I love it's like a challenge. Draw this, and it's like, or you can't draw this. It's like, oh yeah, challenge accepted. That's what it feels like to me, at least.
So kind of like Lulu right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I was like, I don't know, man. She's got phrase, and okay, so I don't like painting in black when it comes to watercolor or acrylic paint for that matter. Because it looks muddy. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was kind of reticent to do Lulu because a lot of her outfit is black. Mm-hmm. But I have this lovely black mess that you see over here. Mm-hmm. And it reads enough like black to trick the eye.
Nice. Yeah, and I'm sorry, you can...
Oh, and I was just saying, I know it's like, but Lulu doesn't have purple hair. It's like, yeah, but it'll look good as highlights. That's my thinking right now. Yeah. Who knows if it'll actually work? We'll find out.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll look really good.
If it doesn't, it's all good. It's all for fun. Sometimes I don't know how you are with this with graphic design, but I find like there's that time where it's like, oh, man, I hate this. This looks awful. Why am I even continuing? And then you get past that point, and you're like, hey, it actually looks okay.
No, I've definitely had those, or like I did like one draft, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just not feeling this whatsoever. Like most recently, I did a logo for my buddy. He basically wanted a funny logo of himself, like him big buff flexing. His nickname, like I don't know if you're familiar with wrestling at all.
No, I'm not, but I think I've seen the logo in question if you posted it. I just remember something about a flexing logo.
Yeah, so my buddy, he goes by Big Papa Al, and basically like kind of parodying Big Papa Pump, who's this wrestler Scott Steiner, who kind of does like a similar kind of flex, and but basically like I drew like him flexing, him with like a funny face, and the first draft I was just like, this is not looking, because I'm trying to like base it on like I have like a couple photos I'm like trying to like base an idea off of, and like the first one was just like, this isn't working at all, like I'm just not digging this. And then like I was like, all right, so then I found this like, so I'm looking at the second one, I was like, all right, so I pull that in and I'm kind of working with them, like, all right, this is working a little better, and then like, oh wow, see, that's it, that's the one, and you just know. so yeah, no, I definitely agree with you where you
go through that, just it's like a process. You have to go through the I hate this, why am I doing this, to get to the it's okay, it's too bad.
Exactly. Trip, welcome in, my friend. Hope you're doing well.
No, that's a cute emote. I love art emotes, which is why. Oh, it's a Doge. Oh, it's so cute.
Good as Doge. Yeah. You got your cat as one of yours. The
I
pew
do.
pew.
I have a fit emote because I'm trying to make my emotes make sense. So I did brand them all Kevin themed
Mm-hmm.
because I'm obsessed with Trail in the Sky. Everybody should go play it. It's a game. Uh, but yeah, that's why I think Kiro can do a couple of them if they are still in chat. But yeah, I love my little green onion. He makes me happy.
I mean, your Kevin emotes make more sense than my Emperor's New Groove themed one. So
Hey, I love the fact that you have a theme. That's great. Like I saw that, and I'm like, wow, look at all these. You just need the witchy lady, and you're good to go. A wrong lever emote. Why do we even have that lever?
why is that movie so good? That's the real question.
I haven't seen that movie in so long, but I do
Uh,
remember it being really fun.
well, do you have Disney Plus?
I do not because
Oh, that's
okay, I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't like working for Disney, so I don't want Disney Plus.
fair enough. Well,
There's nothing wrong with working with Disney. I just, I have Crunchyroll, I have Funimation, I have
Mhm.
Amazon Prime, I have Netflix. I don't really want to add another service on top of it.
Yeah. No, I understandable. I mean, I'm kind of like that too with a lot of my apps now. Like, there's just so many that, that you'll be sub to, and then you realize, oh crap, I'm not really watching this one. Like, should I even be sub to this one anymore? And
Right. That's why I'm kind of glad. In my family, we kind of split the subscriber duties. So it's my brother's Netflix account. It's my dad's Prime. The Funimation and Crunchy are all mine. But yeah, I need them. I need to watch my anime. I need my anime fix. That's like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, be a productive member of society? That can't happen.
exactly. So you're so at the moment you're doing your watercolor, which your hand illustration, which you mentioned how much you love doing that, but of course you also do your digital art.
I do.
And well, I did want to ask while we were going, like talking about your commission work and stuff, like how much you get requests for like the paintings as opposed to just like your digital requests.
As of right now, I have not got a single traditional commission, but there's an asterisk on top of that. I only started offering them like within the past couple of months.
Oh, okay.
So it was one of those things I always wanted to offer, but then I was in painting for a while, and then quarantine happened, and I'm like, maybe I'll let people request paintings if they want to spend the money on the canvas and the paint. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if somebody requested it, I'd be super happy. But at the same time, I'm not surprised that nobody has.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's just a matter of time. I have sold a few of my paintings, which was just the best feeling ever because I never thought that would happen. And then it's like, hey, a friend of mine was like, that painting you just did of Sakura in her frog suit from Clear Card Art, are you selling it? I'm like, yeah, eventually. And she's like, okay, but I want to buy it now, so I'm going to send you money. You're gonna send it to me.
Shut up and take my money.
Pretty much. And I was like, oh, okay, but the mail, it's kind of crazy right now down there, isn't it? And she's like, send me the painting.
I don't care. Give it now.
Give it now. It was good times.
Robbie says traditional art is pacha.
Yeah, it is. Like, again, digital art is great too. They're both fun, and I think that's why I'm enjoying doing both, because sometimes you're just in the mood for something, I don't know, more tactile, more real, I guess. But that is also very expensive. Like,
right.
I would tip it up, but I know Brian has this so carefully cropped, I don't want to mess that up. But they come in pads like this, and when you run out of paper, you need to get another one, and they're not expensive, but they're not cheap.
Yeah. It's been awesome seeing you. Adding that to your like stuff that you offer, but also you're doing those a lot more on your channel too.
Yeah, no, I found the traditional streams I do are really fun. Like the other day, I was doing part 2 of a request stream for paintings, little tiny paintings that I should have thought to have nearby so I could show off, but I don't. Oh no, wait, I do. Hold on. All right, so people were requesting little tiny paintings. Oh, come on, glare. No, don't focus. And so we just did a bunch of little tiny
Your most recent ones came out so good. Like, I loved the Melfina one that I requested you to do. I don't know if that'll pop up in here. Oh, there it is. Melfina. For anyone who's familiar with Outlaw Star.
Yeah, this one's probably my favorite because it's glittery. Let's see if I can catch it. There we go.
Trip working on drawing tomorrow. Nice, man.
Too, just a heads up. So.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yes.
I might have to pay you for shipping for the Melfina one.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. Like, I was trying to figure out the best way. I told people who are in this on it, just like either if you buy something from my shop, tell me so I can slip it in, or yeah, we can figure out what the shipping is and send it the cheapest method possible. But Canada Post is so expensive. Oh my god.
It takes forever to ship to and like out of Canada to here for some reason too.
It does. I literally I got a package from the States not too long ago, as in like earlier this week, and it was in my town since the Friday before I got it, and I got it yesterday. Mm-hmm. So that was annoying because I'm like, I can see it's in town. I could walk to the place where it is.
Yeah.
I know the warehouse it's in, but I can't, and that's just not. It's just not okay.
They just hold it. They just hold it captive.
Yeah, no, it's awful. They tried to do it for Cold Steel 3 last year. Mm-hmm. I was so mad. I was like, first of all, NISA, maybe you should have shipped the thing, before the release date, because I was already okay, Cold Steel 3 costs like $60 to ship to Canada, mm-hmm. which is insane. I've never paid for shipping that expensive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I never gonna want to again. Because I'm cheap. And yeah, no, I was so mad that I paid $60 in shipping and I still had to wait a week to get my game. Mm-hmm. And then it sat in town for I think 2 days.
Yeah, I sent Burley and I sent Berezovsky. I sent them because they redeemed for the sticker and pin combo, and they literally got it like in like a month and a half, 2 months, something like that.
Oh my god, I've never had it be that bad, but that is, pretty bad. Do you know what the best part is? Oh, looks like you're getting some bits.
Eyelash, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. And welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. OMG, what an amazing artist. Yeah, Kat is so awesome, and yeah, welcome in. Thank you so much for, like I said, thank you so much for the bits. Hope you're doing well. Hope, because I think you're streaming in a little bit. So I hope that goes well for you too. And yeah, hope everyone's having a good week, of course.
Yes, of course, because I don't know about you, but with fall around the corner, it just feels like it's still March. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's just losing track of the days, the weeks, the months. Like the weekend comes, and I'm like, wait, it's the weekend, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm constantly asking the other people in my house, like, and for this, I had to send like 3 reminders to myself just to be like, no, you can't do other things at this time because you're going to be on KoppsCast. Which for some reason I would always call KoppsCast. I'm sorry, that is not what it is called. But that is what I called it every time I shilled it.
I was thinking of calling it that, but I don't know. It was kind of tentatively named KoppsCast, like at the start, because remember when I had Taylor on, it didn't really have a name, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to call this. Cause I mean, that seemed like a too easy of a thing to call it, but it's just like, whatever, it's short, it's sweet, I guess, so.
Yeah, no, for sure. The only reason that, I mean, I guess we could get into it, but yeah, the only reason why we decided Aventime was because we knew we'd talk about Falcom a lot, so it's a kind of running gag in there, so we're like, we'll make it a gag for us too, yay! It's
like the end of, it's crazy that it's already end of September already. But
yeah, no, seriously, it's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sad because, like, I used to have an establishment that serves a very specific fall drink across the street from me, and they're not there anymore. And even if they were there, I wouldn't be able to go there because, pandemic. And I just want my pumpkin.
The sad song just from Secret of Mana just started playing right when you right when you said that. That was timed so perfectly. Oh my god, that was perfect.
Amazing. I love that kind of timing.
Man. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So, like we were saying, because we were, talking about your traditional art and then your digital art. You primarily use a Wacom for your digital, right?
I have never used a tablet that isn't Wacom branded.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned it's pronounced Wacom when I called them, and I was like, my tablet's not working. And they're like, oh, Wacom customer service. I'm like, it's pronounced Wacom, not Wacom? That sounds stupid. Okay. But yeah, no, I originally, when I was quite young, I want to say 13, my dad got me a tablet thinking it would help me learn how to do digital art. And I'm like, cool. I had that for a while, and then I upgraded to a screen tablet, which was 13 inches. And now I have a 24-inch tablet. So that's nice.
And so you would recommend a Wacom then, or do you have
Okay. The thing with Wacom is the products are good. I'm not going to say the products are bad, because the products are good. But they are expensive. They are overpriced. There is nothing wrong with getting a Huion or whatever if you just want to test out a screen tablet. Those will last you a good long while. It might break, but it's also not nearly as expensive to replace. I like that over the course of like 18 years, none of my tablets have broken. I've always upgraded because I wanted to. Yeah, no, I haven't played full price either. I wasn't able to get this refurbished, but I was able to get it with like a 10 or not 10%, a 5% discount because I had previously owned another Cintiq. So
yeah, not owning a tablet for me is primarily why I haven't done like art streams myself. Like I really want to do them, but I don't know, because I use the mouse, so I'm just like locked to that, and I don't know. I would rather like do like sketching and like be able to do that, but and because I remember you recommended, or you told me your tablet like a while ago, so I looked into that, and then like lately I've kind of been leaning towards just getting an iPad and just like.
And the thing is, iPads are actually pretty good as far as screen tablets go. I'm not a big fan of how the pen feels personally, but they're a good tablet. And again, they are surprisingly cheaper than most Wacom screen tablets. I think the cheapest Wacom screen tablet is like $700 price, and that's for a tiny one.
Take my Wacom.
See, use
Use an iPad for your art, Kiro. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting one for like a long time. I just like haven't been able to pull the trigger on it yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. What made me pull the trigger was I was last year going to visit family across the country, and I still wanted to be able to work on art because I knew it was going to be a pretty laid-back trip. So I pulled the trigger and I got my tablet, and I spent a lot of money because plane tickets across the country aren't cheap, and tablets aren't cheap. And so,
I mean, it's more than equaled out for you, obviously, with like
especially
with all the work you've done like since you got it, right? So.
Oh yeah, no, my tablet has paid for itself in the work that it's done for me. So I'm just probably going to do a bit of a more abstract background because that's just deciding how I want to do it. But I got to get on that now, or we won't be able to peel the tape by the end, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Anyone who's been on my stream knows it's like my favorite.
Yeah. So you mentioned, we were talking about your commission work and stuff, but you've also you've done a lot of work for like various like zines too.
Yes, I have.
So how would do you want to like get into like just how you're able to get like some of your work like into those outlets and yeah.
Sure. So I'm a big scaredy pants, which is why we're doing this format and not his normal format. And I try and by doing something I find scary. And a friend of mine was advertising a zine for Kiseki, and I'm like, I like Kiseki. I want to give my good sweet onion boy some love in book format. I'll apply. I probably won't get in, but I'll apply. And then I got in. So pretty much, it's just I don't know how to describe it other than it's scary as hell, but sometimes you gotta pull the trigger and just apply. The best way to find these zines is there are like Twitter accounts or Tumblr accounts that like advertise for them essentially. And I just every once in a while when they post, I see one I like and then I apply with the knowledge that most likely I'm not going to get in. And I'm not trying to say that as my art or anything. It's just a simple math problem. When 600 people apply and they're only taking 10, you're probably not going to get in.
But how many have you been able to get into at this point?
I have been in, I want to say 6. A couple of them haven't been fully published. But I've been part of 2 Kiseki ones. I was recently in an LGBTQ plus focused Kiseki one. I was in a specific pairing zine, which has not shipped yet. And there was a couple more. And I just recently got into the Kevin zine because my Green Onion Boy. Yeah. And that one was a surprise. That one I was expecting to get denied because they got a lot of applicants and somehow I was top 25%. So
they saw the Kev heart emote and they're like, all right, we can't say no to this.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I know how hard it is when you're doing all these community zines. You get to know everybody and they become friends. So denying people is hard. And it's like, part of me wonders, oh God, did they only pick me because I'm their friend? But at the same time, they've denied me before, so I know that's not the case. And they also denied other people they consider. It's just like, sometimes you gotta push the imposter syndrome aside and get like, no, maybe I did a-okay this time. Maybe it's fine. But yeah, I will say, and I also did a Tokyo Mirage Session zine that should be shipping soon.
Awesome.
That one was fun because I was originally denied. And then a couple of weeks before they had their deadline for like final pieces, I got a note in Twitter saying, hey, want to be a pinch hitter? And I'm like, I want to be a pinch hitter. Let's be a pinch hitter. And so I made the charm, and then now I get a free copy of the zine. Yay!
Oh yeah. Kira says you deserve to be part of it. That's true.
Oh, thank you, Kiro. It's just one of those things where I think every artist goes through those moments. Oh man, did I really deserve this? And sometimes you just got to be like, yep, and lie to yourself if you have to, because that's the healthier thing to do.
I mean, you've been absolutely killing it lately. Like, I mean, from when I've met you, like even in the last few years, like seeing like a lot of your art, like even like from like when I first met you to now, like it's just like wow, like and then like even like seeing your progression from that you posted from like before that too, like you've come a long way, and just like everything everything looks just so awesome.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've gotten complacent since I got out of school, if that makes sense, because like school really did push me to do things I wouldn't have otherwise done. But I've been pushing myself lately, and I feel like that's maybe helping. Thank you, Ruben.
And
it's one of those things where we are our own worst enemies. Like I can't see that I've improved until I look at old art, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I've improved a bit. Wow, I thought that was good. Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, that's me looking at any of my logo creations from, or just any of my like vector art from, while I was in college to now. Like I just want to like delete like everything that I had from there. I'm just like, no.
One of the things my professor like espoused was, don't get rid of any of your art. One day it's like, I want to destroy it all. I want to burn it, burn it to the ground. I don't want to have this in my house anymore. But it is because, with the
with the zines, were any of them affiliated with like the Falcom related one, or like any of those?
No.
Or they're not affiliated with like the gaming companies or
No,
like
we did for the Falcom one send it to the lead localizer. I think both of them got a copy for free. So the thing with zines is it's kind of a legal gray area, much like fan work in general. It's technically transformative, but it's technically not.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we get around that is we do charity.
There you go. So yeah, so they can't really lay the ban hammer down on you, right?
If they did, we would respect it. But most companies understand that this is a work of love and don't want to really piss off the fans that are doing free advertising for them.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if a company said, "Hey, we heard about what you're doing, cease and desist," we would respect that because it is their intellectual property and they have every right to.
Have you had any of your work get C Indeed?
Oh, have I had any of my work see Indeed? Yeah. Yeah. Nothing too major, just specifically on Redbubble.
Mm-hmm.
A company will be like, "This is too close to our property, cease and desist." I'm like, okay. Sure. I don't care.
Which one was it, if you don't mind me asking?
Pokemon's really bad for it, Sailor Moon's really bad for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bandai's really bad for it. I did a Tales of picture. It was actually a thumbnail picture for one of Aventine's episodes that I'm not sure if it ever aired or not, but I really like the picture. But they like see Indeed it like within minutes of me posting, and I'm like, oh, okay, good to know.
Nice. Are there any particular because you did the zine work, are there any particular outlets that you want your stuff to be shown on to get like more eyes on it?
I do find I get an influx of followers because fandom and our credentials are listed at the end. I don't know if there's like, oh, I really want to get scenes. Do it. I'll go gunning for that position, but I do keep in mind it's like, okay, if I get into a zine, there's a chance that I'll get an influx of followers from other people who got into the zine because we all tend to follow each other. And then once it's released, I'll tend to get a small influx, which is nice. It just feels nice.
Yeah, it's really cool, and especially like even when you're just posting some of your stuff on Twitter and just like seeing like, some of the stuff you've been making lately just like really like blow up on there, and it's just it's really awesome to see you get that recognition.
Oh yeah, no. Anytime my thing gets over like, oh my God, they like me. They really really like me. I don't know. It's always a just knowing somebody out there likes your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And with a lot of your work too, you do a lot of you have kind of like an anime kind of like inspired like design to like what you do. And then you do.
Say that because anytime I was in, they're like, oh. Japanese inspired art. Because if you say anime art, people look at you like, oh, you're just one of them. I might just be one of them, but I also too. Why is people so weird?
But you'll do that. You have a lot of your stuff. You'll do like chibi art too. Mm-hmm.
Yes, lots of chibi art. I wonder if I can. I don't know if I have any chibis. Oh no, paper towel running away. Okay, here we go. Pretty sketchbook. Right, I have to remember you have it quite tightly. I'm just trying to see if I can.
And if not, I have because I mentioned I have the sample that I can show off too.
Right. Yes. No. So this was a commission I actually not too long ago for a friend of mine, Jabby. Mm-hmm. It's from the Somnium file, but yeah, I took that sketch, I digitized it, and I colored it, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I was watching B play through that game, and I busted it up a little bit because I was like, boss's best girl. And like, dude, you just got to the point where he's like, dude, stop.
but she is.
I know, and then stuff happens, and I'm like, yo, dude, she's still best girl. Don't worry about it. It's all a lie anyway. This game has like 800 endings. She's fine.
Well, that's the thing. Like the thing I love about that game is so it's this person. Oh wait, no. Okay, well then it's that person. No, wait, no. This person, that person. Oh God, who is it? Who's the murderer? Somebody go buy I have the Somnium Files. I think it's on sale on PSN right now, which is the version I would recommend getting after watching B struggle with the PC version. Also, while you're at it, go buy 428 Shibuya Scramble, and yeah. Okay, good. I'm done shilling for the games I like. Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it was still, watching him play through that was still fun
So much fun. I really enjoyed it as somebody who had beaten it already. So I got to go from the standpoint of I know what is going on, and watching be very close, like almost get it, and then backtrack. It's like, no, you had it. You had it. You were there. You knew. And then you backtracked. No. It was fun. It was so much fun.
So with a lot of the stuff you do, a lot of the stuff you offer for like commissions and stuff, like between like the chibi art, because you do like the full bust, like the full character drawing. Do you have like a particular preference between either of those, or?
I think my favorites to do are the chibis because they're just so much fun, and you can quite easily you can play around with pose a lot because you don't really have to worry about them being grounded necessarily. If that. But I also really like doing half bodies and busts. Full bodies are fun too, although sometimes people will be like, I want a full body, but I want the pose to be this. And it's like, that would look so much better as a half body, and it would save you money. Why don't you just listen to me? But no, the customer wants what the customer wants. So within reason, I will do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although there are times where it's like, this would look better like this, here's why. And you can still make me do the other way, but it'll look better.
And because I requesting you to do Lulu right here, you mentioned was like a little bit of a challenge, and on one of your other streams I had you try Tei Takemi from Persona 5.
This stream right here?
Yes.
That one?
Yes.
That little take. Yeah. Yeah.
But so you definitely consider some art styles, some sort of character drawing to be like way more challenging than others for you.
As my art tends to lean on the cutesy side, doing sexier characters, while not impossible, is harder for me. They're fun to do every once in a while. It's just like, I'm lazy and don't like a challenge, so you challenge me, Brian. Just why you do that? But yeah,
look at how this is coming out,
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with how it's coming out. I'm just thinking, where can I add the glitter? The mog is getting glitter, and her hair ornaments are getting glitter, but where else can I add glitter? But yeah, no, it's one of those things where I think we all have our zones. Like I said earlier, I'm not a graphic designer, so when people ask me to do graphic design, it's like, I can't. I can. It'll look bad, and you'll have wasted your money. But yeah. And they're like, but aren't you an artist? It's like, yeah, but I can't do everything.
Yeah, you have a particular way you do something, and it might not be as strong for others. I mean, I'm like that too. Like, I'll like if I get a request for like a certain kind of drawing, and I'm like, I don't know if I can like make that the way that you envision it, but I have a friend who's like, I think would like nail it out of the park for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of times where it's like, for example, I was commissioned to draw some Digimon art a while back, and I just know from experience I'm not good at drawing Digimon. So I said, I'm not the girl for this job, but you can commission this person who will do an amazing job. I promise you. And they did, and they were happy. And that is my end goal, is to make sure that the person is happy. And I will refuse commissions if I don't think I can accomplish that.
Yeah, just like a way to kind of respectfully decline, but just be like, but like I said, there's this person who will definitely like nail this for you. Like, trust me.
They're just better for the job, and they probably will give you a piece that you're happier with in the end than anything I could give you. So go for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if they have like a certain idea that's more your ballpark, then yeah, then you can go for it.
Exactly. There was one time I had a commissioner ask for something, and I didn't really like the idea. I wasn't comfortable drawing it. It wasn't anything like bad or risque. I just didn't like the idea. So I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not the person for the job." And I was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't upset them. I really shouldn't turn away new commissioners like that." And then like the next day they came with a different idea. I'm like, "Yay, they didn't hate me. Hooray."
That's awesome though.
Yeah, no, it's again, that's the goal, is to make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any particular artists that that inspired you, or just?
I do. I'm terrible with names, but there's Ikoku Ito, who was a artist who worked on Sailor Moon for a bit, and then eventually made an anime called Princess Tutu. I find her work quite inspiring. There's an artist for Tagami Bachi, which is a not well-known show, but he did the character design and the ending song art for Dororo, and I love his stuff. His stuff is amazing. It's all like purple and yellow. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Search Tagami Bachi on Google and you will find some amazing art.
Very complimentary.
Yeah, extremely. And just so good. Yeah, no, I tend to like very specific manga and anime artists, but again, like they're still artists in my books. But no, I am terrible with names. So yeah.
No worries. Like, but no, that's awesome that like getting the inspiration from them, and then utilizing or recreating like some of the characters that they made like in your own style, and it's awesome to see like what you come up with like from the folks you're inspired by,
And that's the thing, like a lot of people when they watch me for a while will catch what influenced my actual style, because like my eyes are very Cardcaptor's Sakura inspired. Not intentionally, that's just kind of the way I enjoy drawing eyes. Speaking of which, I should... Because I always thought Lulu's eyes were red, but all the reference images I see are quite brown. So I did a red undertone, and now we'll go brown.
No, it's looking awesome so far. It's looking really, really good.
I am doing very good in not moving the canvas, because usually I'll rotate it a bit, but I figured not this time.
So you mentioned, how much you were inspired by like Sailor Moon, Princess Tutu, stuff like that, and recreating some of those characters. Other particular series that you generally like gravitate towards, like you, because you mentioned Kevin, who is a character from the Trail series.
So you're asking if there are series that I tend to subconsciously pull my art style from? Is that the question?
or create pieces for.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I tend to mostly lately it's been Trails in the Sky, Trails of Cold Steel art, which I've just been calling Kiseki, but I'm like, wait, people might not know what that is.
It's a good way, perfect time to explain.
Yeah,
give folks a background that are unfamiliar.
It's essentially a JRPG that has a lot of story and world building, and I love me some story and world building. It's good stuff. They're pretty old. They're all on Steam. You can usually get them for about $5 each, except for Sky 3 and the Cold Steel games, because those are newer to us. So yeah, I tend to draw a lot for them, and I actually feel like thanks to them, my art has grown quite a bit, because I didn't used to draw guys a lot, and a lot of my favorite characters in the Kiseki series are male. I tend to draw a lot of my favorite anime. I actually just yesterday got a new figure for it, and I cleaned an entire shelf because I wanted to be able to look up when I'm sitting at my computer and see all my lovely Natsume figures, and I only fit about half of them.
The saddest it hits you when you're out of shelf space.
Yeah. I need shelves. I need a display case.
That's right. You are a pretty big figure collector.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to avoid expensive hobbies, but like, yeah. it's just they're so pretty and they're so expensive, and the cat to JP is so bad. The end.
It happens. Like, I mean, I've definitely gone overboard with like my record collection, my my massive game collection right here. Like,
see, that's the thing.
It
Like,
happens.
I tend to keep my game collection under control, especially because I'm extremely picky when it comes to games. It's like, oh man, I maybe buy one collector's edition a year, and then NISA and Falcom had to ruin that by releasing a bunch of things at the same time, and I was like, my wallet, it hurts. Give it all to me.
Before we go into game discussion, just a couple more things. So which of your pieces overall would you say is your like absolute favorite that you've done?
See, the problem with being an artist is that a lot of times after I finish it, I really like it, but then I look at it a day or two later, I'm like, like that. So off the top of my head, because I can't really look at many references, I did an OC picture just the other day with a kind of like Art Nouveau inspired background that I really like. I'm really happy with how that one turned out.
This was the traditional art one?
No, it was first digital art piece in a while.
Okay.
This was my character holding her staff, and yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. The latest painting I'm super happy with, I actually have it framed, was an OC painting where when I first got the glitter paint, I'm like, let's just go nuts. I'm not selling this. This is for me. So I did, and I love it because sometimes you gotta go ham.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I'm really happy with the Joker picture you have behind your head. Although it is getting kind of old now, so it's like, oh man, I could probably do a better job of that now.
I still love that one. And I was actually I have a little slideshow here of a handful of some of my favorite ones that Kat did. So why not? We can switch over into that.
Sure.
Cool. So first up here, it's one you did of Sora that you did when around the time Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
Yes. I was really happy with that. Sora's kind of tricky to draw because, his hair.
Yeah.
That one.
Anime hair, it just...
Yeah, but his goes beyond because it's like every which way and pointed up. And like his hair points go higher and higher each game. It's so silly.
and his pants either get shorter and shorter or just like...
More belts, more X's, more zippers. Yeah.
But yeah, it's you did a really killer job with this. I love how you did the sky behind him too, the sky in the ocean.
Yeah, no, I think I drew that after beating the game, and there's a scene in the game. There's a background like that, and I really liked how it looked. I'm like, hey, I wonder if I can get that. Okay, my cat is like dying to get out, so give me 2 seconds.
No worries. Probably, honestly, Kingdom Hearts characters are drawing challenges.
I'm back.
Rob, you mentioned that Kingdom Hearts characters are definitely challenges.
Yeah. But they're fun too. Like I do enjoy drawing. They are a bit of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I knock things out of the way? I'm sorry.
Oh no! This is I didn't adjust the frame on this one. You're good.
I got you. Okay, because I'm like, oh man, you can.
Yeah, don't adjust anything. You're good.
I won't adjust anything. You got to see my messy palette.
Right here is one of your chibi designs you did. Little link with the bunny hood from Majora.
Yeah, so there's a charity marathon that occasionally, I think it's biannual, as in like twice a year, not every other year.
Mm-hmm.
English is dumb. Anyways, there's a charity marathon called Zeldathon, and was watching, and I had a really fun time, and I'm like, I can do fan art for that. Charity's cool. So while they were streaming, I just did that, and they were like, oh yeah, that's so cute, and I'm like, yay, they saw it. They like me. They really like me.
Of course.
So yeah, I think that's why it says Zeldathon on his shield.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the bunny hood is the best item in that game.
Best item in any game. The fact that it doesn't make you time is a crime.
Which makes you go vroom.
Yoom.
But I mean, at least in every Zelda game now, they gave you the ability to run, so that's a bonus. Yeah. But imagine running with the bunny hood.
Oh god. Yes. That'd be kind of fun.
There's just
Okay, but imagine Happy Mask Salesman, but Breath of the Wild style. That'd be cool.
yeah, and yeah, this is a little more of a simplistic character model needed, but you still nailed it out of the park, and I really
It's funny.
really
It took
did
me a
mix
really long time to figure out how to paint or to draw Link because he goes from looking feminine very, very easily, and nothing pisses me off more than she looks cute when I'm drawing a boy.
I mean,
Like,
he's always had like I'm trying
Yeah.
to think like maybe more so like the first Zelda designs we got where he looked more masculine, and then like pretty much since like Ocarina of Time really where
He was very pretty.
yeah. But no, it's you nailed it.
Oh, thank you.
Here is one of your OCs that you did.
Yes, that's Ray. That's getting old there. That's one, but I finally so I was like, I will paint, and it'll be good. I need to give my OCs some love. So I did.
One thing I want to mention about your art in general is like just how awesome a job you do with color, like with the gradients and or just color layering that you do.
I love layering color.
For
That's part of why I love watercolor, because you can layer a crazy amount of color. Pages like bitching at you and tearing apart.
yeah, for me, like for a lot of the logo work I do, or a lot of the stuff I make in general, it's more so just very simplistic, very like one, like only a few colors like integrated really.
I would love to be able to think about like doing something in a simplistic manner, but no, I have to go in whole ham with my stupid gradients and stuff like that. So like, there are pluses to either.
But yeah, no, she looks awesome, and yeah, this piece is definitely one of your best ones in my opinion.
Oh, thank you.
And I think the next one is another one of your OCs too. Yeah. And this one's probably like outside of Joker's is probably like my favorite overall of yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Sometimes when I'm just really mad at the season, I'm like, I'm gonna paint my OC in the season to make me hate the season less. Sometimes it works, but no, I still hate winter.
I do too.
Cold and wet and snowy because I live in Canada. It could be worse. I could live farther north than I do, but yeah.
Yeah, and this is another one too where you've just like nailed like the lighting, the shading, like all those in this one. Like you just like knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to push myself with lighting a bit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I figure as long as I keep trying, it'll work more often than it doesn't.
And does your do you have like stories like about your like OCs that you make up, or?
Yes, I do. And originally back in June, I had actually thumbnailed and sketched a 15-page prologue. And it's sitting there waiting to be flat colored, and I'm all like, but painting. So yeah, that's something that may release eventually, probably not anytime soon, but yeah, I just need to give them more love. So to actually give them love, I need to draw them, and to draw them, let's see way actually get their story out there.
And how many different OCs do you have like right now that you like draw like regularly? Like
Draw
maybe not
regularly?
overall.
I have like 5 or 6 that I draw, but I have a lot overall, because I don't know, when you build a world, you end up with a lot of characters.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, I used to do text RP when I was a kid. I still sometimes do it with close friends, but yeah, that's the source of a lot of my characters too.
Did you do like D&D as well?
I tried D&D, but the thing with D&D is there are rules and rules. So yeah, no. I also, when I tried D&D, the kids I was playing with were quite a bit older and able to stay up late at night, and I'm a bit of a not night owl. I like sleep. I usually go to bed at 10. So yeah, I have a hard time staying up as late as they did.
I got you.
So they stopped inviting me, and I was like, okay, I understand.
I was in a session that like went kind of late like that too, but I still had a blast with it. Like, it was with a few
really
friends.
Fun.
So
D&D is super fun. I think it was a combination of I was very young when they did it. Like I was 13 or 14, and the one guy was an asshole because he was like, "Oh, you don't know that elves can scry?" And I'm like, "It's my first time playing the game, asshole." So no, I didn't know that elves could scry.
usually they'd be a little, a little more forgiving if you're unfamiliar with the game, you know.
Yeah, no, some people are just dicks, right? Like gatekeeping bullshit type dicks.
Anyway, last piece is the one that's hanging on my wall back here.
Yes.
Your Joker piece. I had to include this one.
Yeah, you have to. I couldn't get over the fact that you're like, I'm gonna order your piece of Redbubble. I'm like, oh, thank you. You don't have to. He's like, no, I'm going to. Okay.
Well, I mean, whenever I can, I like to support. I like to support my friends, especially like my artist friends. You know, because I have yours right here behind me. It's my buddy Malloy. I had him on here, episode 7.
Cool.
He was the only. He talked about his little shindig, Popcorn Inc. Where he does poster, like movie poster designs and stuff like that, and just talk graphic design with him in general. So that was a fun chat. But you can if you miss it, you can watch it on YouTube or on this channel. So
that's the glorious thing about VOD/YouTube.
Yeah.
Is that they're always there unless like they implode because the servers are on or bad. Anyways, I don't mean to be able to include.
No, it's alright. But like I said, like I love supporting all my artist friends in general too. Like when I was working at Teespring back in the day, like I made sure I wanted to buy like one shirt that any of the other designers like made, just so I basically have like, a piece of like the whole team, you know.
Yeah, I'm similar with merch. I have a lot of friends who sell merch, and it's like, how much money are you gonna make me spend on you? The answer is always a lot.
And yeah, yours was no exception too. And then when I saw the Joker one, I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna get that one." And yeah, got it framed, and there he is.
And again, I believe that was a thumbnail. Like so how I did the thumbnails for Aventime is that I would do a full illustration and then I just crop it and do the finishing touches for the podcast itself, which was always fun. But it did mean things came out slower because I had to like actually draw them. I'm pretty quick when it comes to art, as you can see, but it still takes time, right? And also editing and all that other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned the podcast. It's called Aventime. What you do with our friend Maddie.
Yes, Maddie, who is a superhuman who is like going to school and working and D&Ding 2 sessions a week, I believe, and is like, oh my goodness, you have such a busy life. I'm just here painting. La 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 la.
But it's been a minute since you guys put out an episode. But are there any plans for new ones in the near future, or are things just like still a little too crazy for?
I think things are just so busy right now for her that it's really hard. I'd love to do another episode, but yeah, it's one of those things where between so as you guys have heard in the background, it can be a little noisy. And we try to do it at times when he isn't in the house because he goes to a day program a couple times a week. Well, thanks to COVID, he doesn't go to that day program. Yep. So it makes it a bit hard to get clean audio. But no, I'd love to do another episode, but it's a combination of she's very busy with school right now and work. And life is busy despite these troubling times.
I mean, I'm feeling that right now too. Like, I mean, I had to take two of the last like few like Thursdays off just because I have like big things happening in my personal life, and I'm just like, yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have enough time like at any other point during the week, and I need to do it now, kind of thing. And it happens,
Sorry, my cat is deciding whether she wants in or out. Ellie, come on. Get in, baby. Get in. Or out. Okay, door shutting.
Where is it?
Your choice. Sweetie, get okay. Ah, boy, cats, am I right?
Threw some pews in the chat for you.
Pews. I love that. That's the cat that was being a butt. I need to make an emote for Chloe, but yeah, it would probably just be an upside down face.
But yeah, life is you were saying life is nuts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't want to add to her craziness by being like, we should do an episode. So yeah, just baby steps. Eventually, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
But there's no rush, and in the end, like, I think a lot of the times what we end up doing is just we both stream at the same time and talk, and that works really well. And she doesn't edit, and it's mindless, and we're having fun, and that's the goal, is to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I haven't like really talked to her in general, like maybe in like when she came into your voice chat like one time like earlier this year or something, and then I was like, oh damn, I miss you, Maddie. It's been a minute.
Yeah, no, that's how busy she has been. It's been no, you made your decision. You don't get to come in.
Kitty wants out now.
And Kitty wants in. She didn't come in, so I said, okay, I'm shutting the door, and she replied with, but I want in.
But yeah, I guess one last thing about your art stuff before we go into game stuff and anime stuff. So do you have any like other like future plans you have like maybe like, because I know like you have your YouTube channel, maybe do some like you did some like kind of like tutorial and like how you like made a certain character, but did you like maybe like have plans to maybe do like kind of like a tutorial video kind of thing like in general for like some of the
with specifically YouTube is that its copyright system is broken, and if I have espoused nothing else, I am incredibly lazy and I have no break on royalty-free music. I get a little more ticked off than I was before, and so I stopped uploading to YouTube, and I started streaming on Twitch, which I like a lot because A, it's great to have feedback. B, it's really nice when people are like, oh man, how did you do that? And I can be like this, and directly show them without actually ruining the flow of everything. And see, I just YouTube's pissing me off, man. So like I've thought about uploading some of the paintings I've done as speed paints on YouTube, but again, every single time, even though I'm using royalty-free music, every time I get dinged with a copyright strike, I get a little more mad. So as for YouTube, probably not, but Twitch is actually treating me quite well. I'm very happy with the ability to add emotes, the interaction with chat. I find that much more fulfilling than YouTube ever was for me.
Yeah, and speaking of Twitch, you've been streaming on there for quite a while, like probably like the last like 3-4 years or so ish, right?
Can't believe it's that long, but yeah, no, you're right. It has been about that long, and like I don't know about you, but I didn't know that the requirements for affiliate were not that high, essentially. So I wasn't planning on, like, I didn't go into streaming to become affiliate because I didn't know that was a thing. And a little bit into streaming, it was like, hey, you've met the requirements for affiliate. You want to apply? And like, what's affiliate? And it's like, you make money. And I'm like, I like money.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
Yeah. And then I eventually made my Kevblob emote, which was my first emote ever, my baby emote. And yeah, no, went from there. It's just, again, it's been really nice to know that people like my stuff enough to throw me a couple bucks every month.
Yeah. And it's a great place to meet so many folks, and you have a little community that you get together on there, and for me, like I was fortunate where I met like a bunch of other smaller streamers, and especially
I love the fact that half the time when I can't raid somebody, because I tend to stream the day when people have these things called jobs, and I almost never have the ability to raid someone I follow because they stream later on in the day. So I love when you're there and it's like, oh man, I need to raid some. Brian, help. I need someone to raid, please, because you've always got all these cool small streamers, please.
Yeah, like I met a lot of amazing folks, and it's especially during these like insane times, like where we were, for the beginning of the year, we were basically like not leaving the house at all, so it was nice to to meet a lot of them and become, a lot of them I consider some of my best friends now. Like I mention all the time, like Modest Millhouse, like if it wasn't for him, like I wouldn't have met Bia, I wouldn't have met Jordan.
Well, that's so cool.
Because
if it wasn't for my connection to you, I wouldn't have met B or Jordan or Burley or half of them, or Modest Millhouse. Although I always feel bad later than I'm awake.
Yeah. And it's just I guess that's like for me, like because like talking about like Twitch community and stuff, it's always I mean, I've talked about it on here a few times where like for me personally, it's kind of tough for me to like exclusively like it's tough for me to say like it's my community kind of thing, and because it's just like because I always like try my best to show love, show support to everyone else that comes in here, and I just consider it just like a big group. I mean, I get the argument for the folks that they really take pride in their own personal communities. But regardless, like it's just it's been awesome meeting so many awesome folks and becoming great friends, and and also like hanging out on their channels too, and it's just been an awesome time.
It's really fun. I find it a lot better than YouTube, especially because like on YouTube, it's like you post a video and you hope somebody comments on it, and they might not, and especially when you don't have very many followers, and then you get a copyright claim and it's blocked in 3 countries, even though it's a fraudulent copyright frame because royalty-free music. But I'm just salty. Don't mind me. Just a little salt in the diet. Nothing.
But I mean, Twitch is kind of starting to lay the.
It is, but again, I made a playlist, and luckily because of how Falcom music works, it's technically royalty-free, as long as certain conditions are met, as in people don't have to pay to listen to it. So
yeah, I mean that's why I've been sticking with like VGM cover stuff. That's why like all the music you see on the bottom right here, everyone in the chat. That's why it's only like Lame Genie and Kirby's Dream Band and.
Yep. No, for me, it's a lot of OC Remix and a lot of J. Welcome Sound Team, because it's royalty free, and while some people still get dinged, it's not enough, and it's not often enough where I have to worry about my channel being taken down entirely. And yeah, that's really my only goal. Don't get taken down entirely. It's sad.
Yeah. Exactly. And on your channel, you do your art, you do your traditional art, you do your digital art. And you do some games too.
Yes, I do. I have cotton. So, when I was a wee lass, back in 2000, I got a game. And this game was Pokemon Puzzle League. And I was very good at the game, and I kicked ass. And then I forgot the game existed for 20 years. And then I was reminded how much I love the game. Maybe I can stream it. And then I figured, no, I can't, because you need enough power to also power the monitor when you stream. So I got a device to split the signal and give it more power and in Pokemon Puzzle League stuff because it's addicting and I like it and it's fun.
I like that story.
Yep.
But yeah, so you like you said, you've been playing Pokemon Puzzle League a lot on there. I mean, it's funny your love for that game, like especially like you loved it as a kid, and then going back to it now. That was straight up me with NBA Jam.
Oh, nice.
Like as much as I love my RPGs, my Super Nintendo platformers and stuff like that. NBA Jam was my shit back in the day, and then because my cousin had it, so I played it a lot at his house.
Nice.
And I never owned the cart myself. Like I was over there all the time, and I just always like played with him. And then when I was in college, that was when like retro gaming like really like started blowing up again.
Yes, seriously. Like thanks to people like the Game Changer,
Like Pat the NES Punk, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like a lot of those guys, like or AVGN, just like going back and like really like getting everyone excited about like the old games they used to play again and stuff like that. So yeah, and I had a local local comic shop / retro gaming shop that had like a lot of old games in there, and yeah, they had NBA Jam Tournament Edition when I walked in there when I was in college, and I mean I grabbed like so much stuff from there over time, but like yeah, I'll never forget like buying that game for like $3.
Nice.
And then bring my Super Nintendo to campus, and we would have like tournaments in like my dorm. Like we'd have like the big like meeting area, and like literally like we'd have like brackets set up of when folks were going,
That's amazing.
But yeah, like I love how like that's you with Pokemon Puzzle League, and seeing you just like absolutely like crushed through that on your channel is pretty impressive.
Well, it's funny because like when you play a game like that where the fan base is small but like desperate for more people to be streaming, and the most people who enjoy the game right now are speedrunners of the game. So I was streaming. It was my first stream. And this dude comes in, and he's like, "Oh, I love this game, and it's really." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I mean like, if I ever tried to speedrun a game, it would probably be this one." And he's like, "I might be a speedrunner of this game." I'm like, "Oh wow, that's so cool, la la la." So I go to his stream eventually, and I watch it, and yeah, he's a speedrunner, all right. He holds the world record of the hardest mode at 15 minutes.
Ooh.
And I'm like. It took me 6 streams to beat it for the first time in 20. What do you mean your record is 15 minutes? I've now gotten that time down to 2. I'm making progress there, and I'm gonna be speedrunning with the best of them soon.
Well, what was your time again? You cut out.
Oh, an hour 42.
There you go. Yeah, you'll get it to 15 minutes, give or take, like another month or so, right?
At this point, I'll take sub hour 30.
I mean, I feel like a lot of that is like, especially the way that the computer interacts in that game. Like, it's super luck based. I feel like,
Well, so going into that game specifically, some of the AI is a bit screwy. It'll prioritize certain areas of the field in certain ways with certain conditions met. So if you can meet those conditions, you can win within a couple seconds. It's just not always easy to meet those conditions. So yeah, it's very fun because I used to be able to, without knowing what I was doing, to quick kill the enemy. But yeah, it's PPL world record eventually. Yeah. No, but that's okay.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
No. I will take having a good time with a fun game. And that's really the best part about it is I'm having a good time with a fun game. Today I did a different mode. Where you have to clear the blocks below a certain line. But that was a lot of fun because I hadn't done that, and I'm still rusty. And oh man, it was a good time. I really enjoyed that. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun is what it comes down to.
Yeah, with puzzle games in general, I'm not that great at them. Like Dr. Mario was like my puzzle game when I was growing up. Like I had it on Game Boy. Eventually got the Super Nintendo remake. It's like the combo of like that and Tetris. So I played that a ton. Like Tetris in general, I'm okay. Like I know like the basics of like what I need to be doing, but then I'll like screw up and then then that's it. But yeah, just like seeing you like, you know, like seeing your mind work like that quick of like, you know, all right, I'm like going across like as fast as I can over here, flipping this, going like you're like 3 steps ahead of, or 3 steps. It's kind of like a game of chess basically, where you're thinking like 3 moves ahead of like how this is all gonna line up. And
yeah, and I do try and think a couple moves ahead, but a lot of the times it's like, oh yeah, I totally meant to do that chain. That was on purpose. Of course it was, because I am that awesome. Sound convinced. Yes. Good. Excellent. So yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes it is me working fast, sometimes it is just me being like subconsciously doing it fast. Like I don't even like, oh, look at that. That worked out well. Go me.
yeah, and because you mentioned you're going for you're going for like a certain personal best like speed running record like for yourself, but I guess what is it about speedrunning in general that makes it so so addicting for someone, so engaging for you, as opposed to just like a regular like just like a fun chill like casual playthrough?
So I got a couple answers to this. One is I've always been very quick at beating games. I remember when I was younger, Colin, shush. Sorry. I would always play a game and like, you know how they usually say, oh, it takes 40 hours to beat, and I'd beat it in 20. Mm-hmm. So I always really the fact that I was able to play games quickly. Mm-hmm. But I think my love of speedrunning like started way back in elementary school, mm-hmm. where I remember there was a news article or whatever going, this person beat Super Mario Brothers in 5 minutes. And I'm all like, oh my god, that person beat Super Mario Brothers in 5 minutes. And I watched it, I was just like mesmerized by it, and that never changed. Mm-hmm. So I think a combination of, it's really, really cool to watch people play and manipulate games in a way where they can beat it in those kind of times.
Right.
And it's also like, I don't know, I have a knack for finding game-breaking glitches. So I like seeing people find those glitches and then use them to not break the game, as in break the game in a way unintended, but still continue being able to play. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just, and then a friend introduced me to AGDQ, and that was it. I was done. But yeah, I don't consider myself a speedrunner personally. I just consider, especially with Pokemon.
I mean, you could technically consider yourself one, since in some aspects, since whenever you do it, you're basically going for like best times, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'll wait till I actually am on the leaderboard before I say whether or not I am one.
True.
I guess. Like I have that personal threshold, mm-hmm. and I've always wanted to do speedrunning, but I have kind of a chronic injury to my shoulder and my wrist, which makes it hard to do repetitive movements. So speedrunning's not really in the cards, but Puzzle League, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to aggravate my wrist too much as long as I don't like go overboard. Mm-hmm. There was a couple weeks ago where I did a 5-hour stream, positive that was gonna knock me on my ass for a few weeks, but it didn't. Mm-hmm. So I was very happy.
You said you just need a new controller, right?
Well, okay, so this is old not faithful. Let's see if I can get it. And the problem is this button is kind of crushed in. It still works, but it doesn't work as well as I need it to.
Just too much Puzzle League.
No, not even. I think it was broken when I got it, because I've only been playing for a bit, right?
Yeah. So
I got this ugly monstrosity.
Yo, is that the gold controller? Oh no, that's what is that, Hyperkin?
Yeah, Hyperkin.
Oh, okay. Because I was just like, oh damn, is that like an officially licensed gold controller?
No,
like then that thing's rare as shit.
Yeah, no, no, not at all. So it had the best for like not being a cheap piece of shit that breaks the first time you play it. And I will agree, it is cheap. It is cheap, but it's not gonna break the first time I play it. And it has the opposite problem. Buttons are very stiff, so my thumb is very sore as I'm trying to break it in. But I'll break it in, and then it'll be fine. It's fine. It's just fine.
Yeah. You and talking about speedrunning, like I don't know, like I never was like particularly interested in doing it myself, but like if I was to do one game, it would probably be Donkey Kong Country, because that's like the game I play that more than anything. Like I do it for whatever reason. I do it every Thanksgiving on my channel.
Oh,
like
nice.
I don't know why. It's become a tradition at this point.
It's funny because when you talk to speedrunners, they'll always say if you will love playing because you're going to be playing it a lot. And for me, that's Puzzle League, because I can't imagine, like I watch JRPG speedruns, but when you're playing a game for 8 hours straight, it's not really speed now. Yeah,
I have my buddy's super handy. He streams, or he speedruns Chrono Cross. He's like number 4 in the world right now. And like I always end up like popping in, like he's usually on like a few days a week, and I always end up just like hanging out, chatting with him, and plus that's like my favorite game of all time, so I can just watch that thing over and over again, like not get sick of it. But yeah, it's crazy to see, like, especially in like an RPG like that, where like literally like anything like for that one in particular, that's 7 hours that is like his best time, and like generally around the time that he finishes up, and he's trying to like beat his best record through that. But like it's crazy to see like the little intricacies that can completely like fuck you up in your run, like
yeah.
Like he posted a thing on Twitter where he literally had like the most rotten luck, like 2 runs in a row where he needs like he needs Surge, the main character of the game, to get a specific like strength boost upon like a level up.
Oh, that is the worst, when you are required to rely on RNG.
Yep. And and he had like 9 consecutive battles where Surge didn't get a strength boost. It's like, all right, well, and so he went through like so many in the first one, and he's like, all right, this is scrapped, and then he started over, and then he still was having the bad luck with it, and it was like, oh my god. So he literally just like he just like raged and
is that terribly far into the run, or
say it again?
Is that terribly far into the run?
I mean, at that point, it was like only like in the first like hour and a half, 2 hours, so like not
okay,
like awful,
there's nothing
but like
worse than a run being killed by something that's like 6 hours into a 7-hour run.
Well, he did. There was like another thing that happened to him too, where for whatever reason he was having an issue with his controller, and it was literally just like it was stuck like going right or whatever. So like it just kept changing characters, and he's like, I'm not even doing this, so he had to like stop at that, and was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, no, that is awful. But I don't know about you, because like I guess you don't watch too much speedrunning. You just catch when you can, like. But
yeah, like,
I love watching people like completely break the game, like, and I'm just gonna skill planes. Those are my favorite kinds of runs. They're just so much fun.
Yeah, like I watch him. He's the only like. And I watch you, of course, when you run PPL, if that counts. But but other than that, like then I'll watch like AGDQ. Like so, well, I completely missed like all the summer ones. Like I don't know. I just had like stuff going on, or just like I wasn't as interested in like the lineup.
How dare you?
But I mean, I watched like almost all of AGDQ like in January, right? Is that when that was?
Yes.
Yeah, like I remember, like something happened and the schedule shifted, and like they were supposed to start like Final Fantasy VIII at like 11 p.m. The night before, but then it got pushed. So then like I woke up and it was only like 2 hours in, so like I literally just like had it on while I was working, and was able to watch like the majority of it, and that was really like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, I love using SGDQ and AGDQ as background noise. That's the best feeling. Because because it's just like, yeah, no, I just want to have this on in the background while I work, and then I end up watching the speedrun and not working.
Yeah, so you play, like you were saying, some PPL on your channel. You'll do RPGs here and there. Which series in particular? Like, you seen the Trail series or?
Yeah. I quite like Trails and East.
Mm-hmm.
I played Nier Automata. I'm really in April.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing earlier today 13 Sentinels, which okay, yeah, that's all happening. Cool, great. I just got out of the tutorial. Excellent. This is good. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Colin. he's just in a giggly mood.
Yeah. What is 13? Like I remember seeing Taylor mention it, and you were talking about it earlier about that just came out.
Yes, it just came out like yesterday or the day before. The day before it came out on Tuesday. I got it yesterday.
Okay.
In the mail, and it's. I don't know if I can describe what it's about because I don't know, but it's a visual novel with these real-time-ish strategy battles in it. I don't really like the fighting, to be honest, but the story so far is absolutely batshit and absolutely fascinating. I'm not kidding when I say I just got out of the tutorial and I am intrigued to see where this all goes, but I have no idea where this is all going. If I had to describe the plot in a non-spoilery way, I'd say it's a bunch of kids who maybe watch a bit too much anime and movies actually having to pilot giant robots.
So, like Evangelion or like something?
Yeah, I think more War of the Worlds.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense. So yeah, no, it's great. The art style, I don't know if you've ever played a Vanillaware game, but the art style is absolutely stunning. It looks like a moving painting 99% of the time. And yeah, I love every minute of it.
Cool.
But at the same time, oh my god, I am so intrigued and confused. But we'll go with intrigued. We'll start with intrigued. Intrigued is a good starting place. Yes, that is what we'll go with.
That's cool. Yeah, so you're getting into that, and are there any other upcoming releases you're looking forward to that you want to play on your channel?
Well, not play on my channel because I don't want to stream and cry. But I am to Trails of Cold Steel 4. Again, will not stream because we'll cry violently on stream. Even if you can't see me, I don't want you guys hearing. No, not gonna happen. After that, the other game I'm looking forward to is Ys 9 Monstrum Nooks, which comes out, I think, early 2021. I think we have a release date. I just don't remember what the date is off the top of my head. I mean, yeah, no, I think that's pretty much like the main ones I'm super excited for. I'm very like I'll find out about the game the day or two before I buy it type of person. So yeah, I just like I want to think ahead, but at the same time I don't realize the game I'm looking forward to is coming out like next week. That's what happened with 13 Sentinels. I completely forgot about it until Taylor did a video on it. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna get that. And then I did. Yeah, so good job, Taylor. It shows you that free advertising on YouTube sells games.
Exactly. Yeah, you mentioned Trails of Cold Steel. You mentioned Ys. Cold Steel, I still need to get through most of that series. I've played one twice on PS3, and then I did New Game Plus on PS4 because I was planning on going through all of them on PS4, and still haven't gotten to 2 yet. And I own 2 on PS3.
Suikoden?
Say it again.
Do you like Suikoden?
I've never played that series.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you like that series, you will like Cold Steel 2.
Well, from what I've heard, a lot of folks like Cold Steel 2 better than 1.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like the structured element of Cold Steel 1. I will
Mhm.
agree Cold Steel 2 is better in that regard.
Mhm.
Cold Steel 3 goes back to that structured element, so a lot of people didn't like that.
Mhm.
I I like and I'm looking for make me very, very, very sad.
Because it's the last entry, right?
It's the last
For
entry
for
of
Cold
Cold
Steel.
Steel.
Yeah.
Yes. But from what I understand, the next one, Hajimari continues on with a lot of. So I'm curious to see how that all works out. In 5 years when we finally get it.
Hmm.
Uh,
And then with Ease, I'm slowly making my way through that series. I only own a few of them,
mm,
but I played Origin. Really liked that. Absolutely loved Celceta.
Celceta is great. Celceta is one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
actually, I played that earlier this year, and yeah, the combat was just so satisfying. Like, and just like zipping around the map and just like slashing everybody, and then just switching between the characters on the fly. Like, it was just so much fun. And then uh, I own eight. I've owned eight since day one, and just haven't gotten around to it because I wanted to play Celceta first.
Right.
And but yeah, like I've heard nothing but amazing things about that game, and that's on the list. It's in my schedule, so I will be getting to it at some point in the next, at some point on Twitch in the next year. So we'll see.
Well, that'll be fun. I'll enjoy stopping by for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think my favorite is 8 right now. 9 will probably over
Mhm.
the time comes. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed 8. 8 has great music, great
Mhm.
story, good characters.
I mean, Celceta had like I mentioned it a lot on like they had a really rocking soundtrack in general,
Yes.
uh, and I assume like that's the same with eight.
Oh yeah.
Very very much in the like the more rock centralized
That's
soundtrack
all Eve
compared to
series
like
have
other
that.
RPG series.
Yeah, no, all Eve series have that kind of rockish nature to them, which is why they are great. Trying to take off the tape without moving the thing, having mixed results.
It's all good.
But yeah, Celceta actually, my ringtone for my phone is from Celceta, which is nice.
Nice.
Um, but it's one of those things where every time I play, the best one ever, every single time. And it's funny because like I have a rule about no soundtracks before I beat the game, except for Ease, where it's like I don't care, I need the soundtrack.
Yeah, I've kind of because I mentioned I have an extensive vinyl collection that includes a lot of video game OSTs. There's some games where I just bought it anyway because
Yeah,
because I
you
really
have
dug
to.
the soundtrack even though I haven't played the game. Like I bought the vinyl for The Messenger, which
Nice.
is
I've heard that's
a
very
really
good.
highly rated indie game inspired by like Ninja Gaiden and some of those other like old school like 2D platformers and stuff. But I've listened to the soundtrack a whole bunch, and my friends in Lame Genie they covered some tracks from it, and it's pretty kick ass. And it was on sale for Black Friday. It was like $20. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'll get it. You know?
Nice, yeah,
So
20 bucks. That's a steal.
yeah, for like a double LP too, it's like all right, that's a no brainer. I'll just get it, and that's actually one of the next games I have planned on the channel coming up soon. So I'm looking forward to trying that one. But and then I also made the exception with Celeste because
Amazing soundtrack.
yeah, amazing soundtrack, and when I played the game, I played it earlier this year too, and that's probably like a top 5 game for me too.
Yeah, it's one of those games I now own. Like, I want to play you, but I know you're gonna destroy my red. So I don't know if I can play you. But you have good music. I'll give you that much.
It'll also hit you in the feels pretty hard too.
Oh yeah, I've heard. I've heard it's a very like even just the music hits me in the feels, and I have no context.
Mhm.
Like I vaguely know what the game is about, but I don't have enough context to like be sad when certain songs play. And yet I am.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any other releases you're looking forward to before we move on?
No, those were the really big ones. Cold Steel 4 is the one I'm hoping arrives close to its release date, because if I have to wait till early November, I'm gonna cry. I will probably just vanish off the internet for a week when that does show up, because I want to play my game and I don't want to do anything else, and I'm an adult. Yeah, no, that's really the biggest one. I think harder. If Nintendo did the smartest thing and did a Switch port of Pokemon Puzzle League, I'd be excited as shit for that.
I mean, we're getting a Pokemon Snap remake, so we could.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Puzzle
Okay,
League.
I lied. That one. I'm excited for that one. I want it. Oh my god. I never thought we were gonna get. It's beautiful. I love it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, like I know so many. I have a lot of friends that expressed on many occasions like how much they really wanted a Pokemon Snap remake or sequel. So yeah, it's pretty cool that I think Bandai is developing it. So it's cool that we're getting it in any capacity. And there's a kitty.
There's a kitty. Don't lick the water, dummy. Like, it's non-toxic, but don't.
Stepping on Lulu.
No, she's not stepping on it. Just now she's sitting on it. No. And oh no.
It's like, oh, you want it?
Chloe, no, stop.
She just wanted to she just wanted to add her little touch to it.
Yeah, she wanted to
Catch my drift.
Make sure that the internet knew that she had a fluffy butt. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Well, kitties, welcome back, Jordan. But yeah, so another reason why I wanted to have you on too is I haven't had a friend to have a good anime chat with on here yet. And
You say good, like it's not going to be a discussion about one show, but okay, cool. Let's do this.
Well, just just like a general discussion, because I mean, obviously, it's a lot of anime manga is has influenced you with your work and stuff. You mentioned you're really big in you grew up and you were big into like Sailor Moon. Was there in Princess Tutu? But what were some other ones that you watched growing up?
Growing up. Sailor Moon was the biggest one. That came out when I was 7. And at first I was like, wow, these characters look weird. Their eyes are so big and stupid. I don't get it. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I love it. And then I went to Pokemon for a while there, which is why I enjoyed games like Puzzle League and Pokemon Snap, because like that shit was my childhood. And after that, yeah, it was Card Captors, which is just the greatest show that I thought had a bigger fan base than it does. But
I feel like more folks remember the theme song.
The theme song was amazing. Okay, so fun fact about Card Captors, because you've opened Pandora's box now, Brian.
Okay.
So I own Card Captors. I own the Genyon box set, and I own the NISA box set. The Genyon box set only came with subs. The NISA box set, which is Blu-ray, came with a new dub, not the original dub. And I'm like, ooh, new dub of Card Captors. Great. Spoilers. It's not.
What?
Yeah, no, it is the worst dub I have ever heard, for one reason and one reason only. And I want to say that the actors aren't the reason. They did fine with what they were given. They decided in their infinite wisdom that instead of having one voice actor play one character, randomly, between episodes, the voices would change. For every single character, except for Sakura and Tomoyo. Except for Tomoyo gets a new voice actor in season, I was gonna say 2, but it's actually 3.
That's really distracting.
So, yeah, it's really weird when you're like, why is that Chiharu's voice coming out of Naoko? I don't understand. And then you realize they're doing it for every episode because nobody like had a set cast except and it's bad. It's bad. Anyone who bitches about the old dub, no. Go on Crunchyroll, watch the NISA dub, and tell me that the old dub is bad. I dare you. The old dub is actually amazing. I love the old dub.
Yeah, that would be so jarring, Jordan.
Yeah, it really is. It was quite disconcerting, and I'm like, I don't want to keep watching this. I want to just jump ship and go back into the subs, which I know are good. But I didn't. I stuck through to the end because I hate myself, and I needed to see if it got better, to see if they stopped switching voice actors for characters, and they never did. They never did.
Shelby, thank you so much for that 4-month sub.
Wow,
Thank
4
you so
months.
much.
That's great.
I really appreciate you, and as always, enjoy your continued use of those various Emperor's New Groove themed emotes, the Raging Cop emote, the ad-free viewing, and yeah, welcome in. How you doing? I only saw the old show.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, the original airing does have some censorship issues. Like, I don't know what the 90s obsession was with making lover characters cousins, because Sailor Moon did it as well. But yeah, it turned two of the kids into cousins, even though they are essentially boyfriend and girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
They completely cut out the teacher-student romance, which I don't blame them. It's gross. So they completely cut out the gay romance, and there's a lot of the characters on my.
Well, they did that in Sailor Moon too, in the English dub, right? Where it was like the two
Yeah, they made them cousins.
Sailor Scouts that were which makes it even more awkward in some.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Parts,
it's like, wow, they know each other so well because they're cousins, and it's like, it doesn't. No, what you're trying to do, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Just let them be lovers, please.
Did they change that in, like, because didn't they redub that, or did they just change that in like Crystal or whatever in the remake?
So I haven't seen the new dub of Sailor Moon. Partially because I have no way to watch it, so I haven't seen it. I will eventually get the Blu-rays when they go on sale. It's just I don't want to spend $50 for half of a season. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're dumb expensive. Well, depending on like who puts it out, who distributes it. Like, yeah, Viz is usually really expensive. Like, I have a
I was gonna say this is Viz, and Viz is really expensive right now. So.
I have a Persona 4 anime box that was like it's a limited edition, so I'm glad I got it. But it was a little more money than I wanted to spend.
Yeah, we call that the Aniplex tax because they go, oh, this is mine, and put a big ass price tag on it, and it's not fair. Yeah, I from what I understand, the new dub is uncensored, but I haven't seen it, so I have no opinion on it. But I do have uncensored. So this company called ADV many years ago put out season Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon R on DVD, completely uncensored. And wow, they cut a lot of episodes for the English release of. So yeah, as long as Viz did keep it uncensored, then that's good, I guess.
So do you primarily prefer dubs over sub?
I like both, to be honest. I think they each have their place. I try to give both a chance, but I do tend to favor subs over dubs. That being said, the dub for Toradora is actually perfection. I prefer the English over the Japanese. The dub for Gargantia, the Verodius planet, is incredible. I laugh so hard every time I watch. So yeah, I do try. Oh, and My Love Story. My Love Story has a great dub because it brings the main girl's voice down an octave. She's really high pitched in Japanese, and it actually makes her less vapid because she isn't so high pitched and squeaky. And yeah, Toradora is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I love that one too. Hits you right in the feels.
And that's the thing. Like, okay, so I get the Toradora dub from NISA before I get the Cardcaptors dub, and I'm like, well, the Toradora dub was amazing. The Cardcaptors dub should be amazing too. And it's like, no, they contracted this company in Toronto, which I thought we had better people here, but apparently not. And they just were like, oh, you have a dub ready. We're gonna contract it from you and put it on our Blu-ray. And I guess I didn't listen to it to see how horrible it is.
I would.
sub for Yu Yu Hakusho. I haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
I would disagree, Jordan. I actually watched through all that last year. I think last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember, but I didn't mind it. Like the dub is very, very good for Yu Yu. It's one of my preferred. Like for me personally, I guess I'll just. I'm sure I've said it on here too that I generally prefer sub, but there are some like older shows that I will defer to dub. Mostly Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have a pretty rare. I can actually show it quick. 1 sec.
Yeah. Now, while he shows that off, talk about how bad Dragon Ball. No, I'm kidding.
So.
It was. Yeah. Let's see.
So, I mean, we have like the Funimation dub. That's actually like you can kind of see it. There's like a Blu-ray set like over here somewhere. But this was, if anyone remembers, the original Ocean dub.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say that's the one I grew up with. So when people say like Chris Sabat is whatever, I'm like, oh, no, he isn't. Because what are you talking about? That's not his voice at all.
Yeah, so this is the original censored dub of DBZ, which was the in this set. It's the first 100. How many episodes was in this? It was basically up to when Goku landed on Namek.
Right.
And so it's the first like 2.5 seasons, and then it's like the 3 movies that they put out. But apparently the set is like dumb expensive now, so I'm like kind of glad I got it.
Rare as hell, so that's not too shocking.
Yeah, I mean that was part of why I wanted to get it anyway, because I was like, well, it's nostalgia because this was like the first anime I like grew up with, really.
Yeah.
And I mean this dub is like so bad that it's hilarious. Because I mean, you have all like the memeable moments, like with like Vegeta, the Vegeta over 9,000 bit. You got Goku goes to hell, but instead of hell, it's HFIL, the home for infinite losers, and like it's just so cornball. And then like the part where like Tien gets his arm cut off, and then like so Nappa cuts his arm off, and then he'd normally be like writhing in pain with like his arm like bleeding out, but then in this dub, like obviously not bleeding, and then he's like, oh, just wait till it grows back, like offhanded comment. It's just like, oh my god, it's so I don't know, but I do still have like a fondness for like this one in particular, and like I will throw it on here and there, and
honestly, if I could get the original Cardcaptors dub DVD Blu-ray or the original dub on DVD or Blu-ray, I'd get that in a heartbeat just for the nostalgia factor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, I will defend the Cardcaptors dub to the end of days because holy hell, the NISA one is bad. But yeah, no, it's actually a good dub.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love Ocean Group.
And also, Cowboy Bebop has a really good one too.
Mm-hmm.
So even though like I still like will, I don't know, for a lot of anime I'll gravitate towards sub in general, but like for some of those like I won't mind it because they did for some of those classic like 90s ones. I think they did a pretty either a solid job, or like in this case with the DBZ one, it's just like
so bad.
You just have to throw it on.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I find a lot of people will just assume that dubs that are done now are as bad as dubs that were done in the 90s and the early aughts. And
I mean, they're admittedly way better now, but for whatever reason in newer anime, I guess it just kind of, even in RPGs in general, it might pull me out a little bit. Like, especially if it's like they're based out of like the characters are like based in Tokyo and stuff like that, and
yeah.
And everyone's talking
like... If the game is set in Japan, I will almost always play in Japanese, because it's just, I find, especially if the English dub decided to keep the chans and sans and samas, that shit, I can't stand that being said in English, so I won't. I will just put it on in Japanese and listen to the way it was intended.
Yeah. But yeah, like, and of course I respect everyone that generally like only wants dub in general, or like, I mean, talking to one of my buddies about it, like, if someone that like, just wants to like experience a story, and like they might have like a vision impairment or something, and
well, that's just it. I have a friend who earlier this year, due to migraines, started having mini strokes, and she's been finding it difficult to do subs anymore. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I feel so bad, and it's like, don't. That's what the dubs are there for. They're there for who can't enjoy the subs. Like, it's not something to be ashamed of. They're good.
Yeah, like you were saying too, like much better than they used to. Like they really will, go out of their way to make it, as they'll bring in good voice actors. Like it's not like, I don't want to say like an afterthought like it was back then for like some of the older shows or even with like regular like cartoons back in the day. Like there definitely wasn't as much emphasis on like certain direction for some shows, but yeah, it's definitely improved like way more now, and whatever. Like it's nice having both options, especially like in games now too. Like I love like for RPGs, like being able to play with like the Japanese audio. I think that's like so cool. Like I don't have to like if I don't want to play with the English dub, then I can go back to like the original to the Japanese voice actors if I want that. But yeah.
And the other thing I like about specifically playing in Japanese subtitles is that because I've been learning the language, I can listen and I can see why the localizers decided to localize the thing in the way that they did. And it's like, oh yeah, that's shit. I have great respect for localizers. Like their job is hard. It's a difficult language to bring into English in a way that isn't just cut and dry. A thing I can think of is going back to video games for a sec, but there's the original localization Ys 8 had a lot of translation problems, and most people were complaining about the fact that instead of like a crevice, they called it a big hole. I'm not even kidding. But
I remember that. I remember seeing the clips of that.
Yep. My issue was more though when in Japanese, a lot of times when people are asking for clarification on a word that has been said, they will repeat the line in a different way, which in Japanese makes sense because they're explaining the word. But when you're like, oh, it's the Archaeozoic era, and the other character goes, what's the Archaeozoic era? And they go, it's the era that was Archaeozoic. Like in English, that doesn't make any like it doesn't actually explain what the character is asking, and so there's a lot of that in localization that I get. It's really to kind of bring over Western audience.
What I guess just a general question about anime in general. What makes it so endearing compared to like other mediums?
I wish I knew, honestly. I think it's a combination of every show has a different art style. They usually put a lot of emphasis on music and tone and story that transcends episodes. I never could get into like traditional cartoons as a child because their proportions were always really weird. Like they only ever had 3 fingers, and they like the shows when I was growing up were like a good show, and Monsters Under the Bed or something like that. I don't remember what it was actually called, but that was a fun show too. I liked them, but I hated the fact that once the episode was done, that storyline was done, and we would never really go back to it or harken back to it. With anime, it's a sequential story most of the time. Even if it's episodic, you'll still get callbacks, and I like that. So yeah, I find music and story, and of course the art. There are some incredibly pretty shows out there, especially now, where we can have digital assistants and all that kind of stuff to make the shows look even prettier than they ever did in the past.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you too. Like, yeah, it's usually like, I mean, there's a lot of shows now that are just straight up like monsters of the week, or or cartoons in general. That it's just like, they say they'll save the day, or like they'll just solve whatever problems on this episode. Then
that will be that.
Yep. And then with anime, it's long-term storytelling that builds up over time. Like, going back to Dragon Ball, like or just like the Dragon Ball Z portion of it. The whole arc of them going to Namek to collect the Dragon Balls there so they can revive their friends while avoiding Frieza, and then eventually Goku meeting up with them, and then eventually him facing Frieza, and just it's
And then
just
eventually Frieza freezing the planet or blowing up the planet over 5 minutes, which I swear to God took at least 5 episodes.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Well,
That's where I stopped.
well, to be fair, if they did adjust that a little bit in the Kai dub or in the Kai edit or whatever. So if you want a lot less filler in your Dragon Ball, then Kai's there for you. So that him blowing up the planet, it'll be 2 episodes instead of 5.
Like I get what they were doing, but it's like, Jesus, just blow up the planet already. Come on.
Yep.
More than 5 episodes? Oh my God. I was by saying 5.
What was it, that, and then Goku standing there for 5 episodes, like charging up the spirit bomb and stuff.
Right. Oh my God, the spirit bomb. Yeah, no, again, that's where I stopped. I had dropped out of Dragon Ball Z because, like, I remember Dragon Ball when I was wee little one before Sailor Moon even came out. And I was like, this show is interesting and funny, and then I didn't care, and then Z came out, and I started in, like, the end of the tournament arc, and then stopped. I actually stopped at Majin Buu. That's where I stopped. Because he just kept getting stronger and stronger as they thought they beat him, and I hated that. I hated that. It was like, no, he's not. It's not even my final form. Fuck off.
Darren, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, actually, I kind of, when I growing up with Dragon Ball, like, I actually kind of fell out during the Buu saga because I just didn't really like it. And well, I think the thing that pulled me out of it the most was because bless you.
Sorry. Thank you.
Establishing like Gohan as like the new main character, and they made him like wicked badass, and then just completely like going off a cliff with him, making him like the lamest character in the show, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I keep hearing. I have a friend who Gohan's their favorite character, and they like hate what happened to him because it was just like, and now he's a librarian.
Exactly.
Because that's what happens when you're the number one. And now he dresses in a stupid costume. But I've always kind of been iffy on shonen to begin with. Like, I am a bit of a girly girl. I like my girl stuff. I mean, one of my favorite shows is called Princess 2. If that doesn't... I don't know what will. But yeah, that's another one. The dub is better than the Japanese because the dub makes sense of the puns of all the character names.
And what current stuff are you watching at the moment? Like I'm completely like I've really fallen out of anime in this last year, so I'm kind of curious.
Literally before I started, well, I guess an hour before I came on here with, I finished. Fuck, I always forget the full title, but the majority of the title is Balance, about a detective who has a shit ton of money and flaunts it around, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was cute. A really good intro song. So that just finished today. Decadence finished a couple of days ago. Amazing show. If you're gonna watch it, watch till episode 2. It's on Funimation.
What's that one about? Brief synopsis.
What's that one about? Natsume is down on her luck after getting amputated as a child. She just wants to fight against the alien invaders. Oh no. Oh no, this is the problem with streaming on. Oh no, they're finding me. Oh no. So yeah, no, she wants to fight the alien army, but she gets set to a different job. But the guy who teaches her at her job sees her potential and teaches her how to fight the alien. That's the non-spoiler description of Decadence. And that's why you watch till episode 2, because everything I just said isn't actually what the show is about.
Trav, welcome in, buddy. Appreciate you tuning in as well.
Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, thank you for following Kat on her channel there.
I thought I turned that off, but apparently I hadn't.
Do you have any recommendations for anime for anyone that like hasn't watched before? Because I mean, I know Darren. I'm always recommending stuff to him. So,
I'm always reticent about actually recommending things without, because I have niche as fuck taste, and like I don't mean to. It's just how it ends up. My favorite shows are Princess Tutu, a show you can watch on Sentai, Ascendance of a Bookworm, which is on Crunchyroll and is amazing. Please watch it. We're getting season 3 soon. It's gonna be amazing. Please watch Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's about a girl who's crushed to death in one world. Girl where literacy isn't a thing, and she just wants to make books, and it's just so heartwarming. Natsume Yujincho is on Crunchyroll. It's about a boy who gets spirits and how he deals with that, and it's amazing and will make you cry because it does. So I always want to recommend those 3 shows, but I'm always hesitant because like Ascendance of a Bookworm is a good starter one because it is pretty chill, but it is also incredibly slow and world buildy. So if like you like action shows, it might not be your jam. Yes, Natsume Yujincho. Natsume Yujincho could be a good opener. It's episodic, which is rare for anime, but it still continue plot lines throughout. But if I had to pick like a starter anime, I'd probably go for something a bit more accessible and fun, like Toradora. I think that would probably be one of my first go-tos because it's just so sweet and it's short. I would never want to recommend someone something that is over like 26 episodes as a starter, just to see if they like it.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend something on like 12. Like if they're really digging it, then maybe I wouldn't go more than like a 24 episode thing.
26. I mean 24 to 26 or even 22.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of my shows do end up being 13 episodes or under 13 episodes. But I feel like the problem with one core anime is that it can feel rushed. Isn't that geared for a younger audience? Which one? Natsume Yujincho? I mean, it kind of... There's one episode where he opens a door and it's covered with blood. I don't think kids would be okay with that. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's chill and there's feels, and that's the kind of stuff I like, is when you're exploring the character more than exploring the plot necessarily. Because, Toradora.
Toradora the Explorer.
That's necessarily aimed at kids. I guess it kind of is. It's not. I'd say it's a teen type of show, if that makes sense.
You can still recommend it though. Like I still enjoyed, because I think I watched it like
all ages. Anyone can enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I watched it like 5 years ago, 4 years, whenever, and I really liked it.
I know a lot of people probably jump into like recommending things like FMA Brotherhood. I actually go against the grain and say that's not a good starter show, because it is so fantastic that finding a show that is as good as it is hard. So it's like you kind of blow your load a little early.
Well, when I recommend that's 12 episodes is season 1 of One Punch Man, because it's like at least like, you know, it gives you the little taste of what's the genre again? The term
shonen.
It gives you a little taste of shonen, but also makes fun of it too.
Well, that's the
thing. And kind of
like,
spins it on its head, and I don't know, it's funny enough where I think like if they can dig that, and then I'll recommend them like other shonen per se, or if there's like a particular interest, if like they want like it's more of a slice of life thing.
I haven't been able to watch One Punch Man for 2 reasons. One, I couldn't get through the first episode, and 2, I know there's an episode where, and I can't and I won't, so I'm not going to. But in that vein, I would say Mob Psycho 100 is a starter show.
Yes.
But at the same time, you have to kind of be how crazy it is, because it is kind of making fun of the genre that it's in.
Yep. Mob Psycho I think is the way better show, but I think
Yes.
One Punch Man is a little easier accessible. Like you said, like it's way crazier in Mob Psycho, but overall I think the story is a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, another show I'm actually watching, this Demon Academy. It's like One Punch Man, but with demons, and it's amazing. I don't know if it's so bad it's good or so good it's bad. Like I'm conflicted about this show, but it's essentially a demon lord has been reincarnated and his memory has been erased, and they want to figure out why. But he also just wants friends. But he's also incredibly point where he can explode people with his heartbeat. I'm not kidding. At one point, he blinks and people vaporize, pissing.
So it's like Death Note in a way.
Kind of. It's more like One Punch Man because.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
and it's over the top and stupid, and I'm like, Anos Voldigode, you're a dumbass. I love you. So again, not a good beginner show, but a good. If you like One Punch Man and you want that kind of absurdity and you don't know if it's poking fun at itself or if it's being serious, I wholeheartedly recommend that show.
Jordan.
Yona of the Dawn is a good show. I don't know.
Yona of the Dawn is very good.
I would say that might be a good intro to see what people like, because it's got a good mix of being a shoujo show but also being incredibly violent. So
yeah. I was also another thing with Yona 2 is because like the way that it ends too, it leaves you wanting more. So it's like
eventually.
Season 2 when?
Season 2 when? Seriously. Although I did make the mistake going back to dubs for a second. I got the My Hero Academia Blu-ray. I watched that in English, and I really enjoyed the dub. I still prefer the Japanese, but I really enjoyed the dub. And then I watched the Yona of the Dawn dub because I bought that in the same like Right Stuff box. And All Might, who voices Hawk in Yona, and so all I could think was like Hawk running into the room, Yona. It was making it really hard to watch, but it was a really good dub. Really good dub. Funimation's been knocking it out of the dubs lately.
Jordan mentioned Dawn of the Deep Soul. Is that a new one?
I don't know that one actually. So I don't have an opinion on that. I watched The Great Pretender not too long ago. We still need the final arc to come to Netflix, but holy shit, that is a good show. I really enjoyed it. If you like Dirty Rotten Scoundrel, Martin and Michael Caine, it's that, but like expanded for 22 episodes. It's great. Oh man, I'm missing the Phoenix Wright music. I'm so. Made in Abyss. I want to see that. I think because it was on Prime, I didn't actually sit down and watch it because I didn't have access to a Prime account.
You have a Prime account, or no? Or is it not? No, you can get Prime. I have a
member with a Prime account.
Okay.
And he so graciously said, "Yeah, you can off my Prime account." I'm like, "Yay!"
Yeah, I think mine's actually gonna run out pretty soon. I subbed to watch The Boys. And we're in the middle of season 2 right now, so it's been a fun watch.
Yeah, I watched. What did I watch on Prime? I watched. Wotakoi. Wotakoi is an amazing intro. It's a romance show about adults, and we need more of those, please. I'm tired of teenage bullshit. I would like more. It's about a girl who starts her new job and finds out that her childhood friend also works there and knows she's a nerd, and she desperately wants to try and leave the nerd life behind, but ends up like being adult and a nerd, and it's great. I love it.
You can never leave. You can never leave it.
Yeah.
It's always there.
I too am tired of the teenage bullshit. Yes. Yes, I'm glad you agree, Travis.
Also, hello Pixel. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, Darren, I turned off the Wasabi Redemption for now. Just it'll be back on Sunday. I'm just figured for these chats, I didn't want to be burning through my nose while I'm asking questions. So
it'd be funny.
It would be. It would be our own like Hot Ones. Oh
God.
Version of that. I mean, at least with wasabi peas, they're like like they burn at first, but then it's gone.
Well, that's good. I've never actually had them. I'm always very.
But for some of these guys, they'll redeem, because I have one redemption that's like multiple for like cheaper.
Oh
So,
God.
and they got me to eat like 10 at once,
Oh no.
and that was like the most awful thing ever. It was brutal.
That sounds pretty brutal.
Just literally all the heat just like went right to my nose, and it was just like.
Oh no. Oh no. But hey, good for a laugh, right? At your expense.
Yeah, I'm sure. If that's how they want to spend their channel points. I mean, that's why it's there, you know?
So, what you have to do is create an elaborate scheme where you get people to donate their channel points so that you do sketch request streams and then make them donate more channel points in order to redeem the sketch request. That's what you do.
Well, technically, they did pool points together for to get the one and only Lucha Cops on here for a special appearance. Yes. He's going to give me the day off, he's quite the legend from where he's from.
Someone's gonna let you out of the dungeon? I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a drive. I don't know. A
drive.
And he's gonna take over.
Well, I'm sure the stream will be in good hands, right?
It should be. I think he knows what to do.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's just streaming. Well, no big deal.
I guess for a heads up, that's gonna be coming up in the next few weeks. More likely. So yeah, apologies that took forever after everyone redeemed that, but like we mentioned earlier, life is just kind of crazy right now, and I wanted to, or things needed to be prepped to summon him. So so I will let you all know when that's happening. So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
You got to go through his agent. You got to payment. Like
I mean, he gets booked all over the world. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just make these things happen.
I mean, and I don't want him to give me the K-bot from the top rope either. So.
Yeah, exactly. What you said.
But yeah, and is there any new anime coming out in the near future that you're looking forward to checking out?
I think there's a couple things next season. I'm actually gonna pull up Analyst to see what is coming out, because I'm pretty sure but I am terrible about remembering which ones are actually later.
Okay. Wasn't sure if there was
Oh, I got one. So, okay, this one takes some explaining, and way back in the day, I would, and I still actually, but I don't write about it anymore, but I would watch the first episode of every show in a season and write my thoughts on the episode, and then I would hope to be pleasantly surprised. One day, a show called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon comes onto Crunchyroll, and I'm like, that sounds awful. That sounds bad. That looks like stupid fan servicey bullshit. I hate stupid fan service bullshit. That's like my kryptonite. I hate it. I'm gonna hate this show. Look at that character design. Why doesn't she have any clothing on her back? She's a warrior. The back is kind of important to cover. This is stupid. And so I watched the show and I'm like, this is actually kind of funny. And then I continued watching the show and I went, this is actually really good. Oh God. I like a show called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Oh no.
I admittedly loved season 1 too.
I love the show so much, and we're getting season 3, which has my favorite arc, because when the anime ended in before season 2 I think actually came out, I did a thing where I bought all the light novels and I started reading them because they're good. And even though they're one of the light novels, the first arc or the second arc of season 2 is like my least favorite book. It's the one where they're in the red light district. It sucks. It is so long and it goes on forever. But everything after the red light district thing has been amazing, and season 2 was really good, and season so far, and yes, I'm taking a stand against all the teenage bullshit, the fan service, all the bullshit.
All of it.
So yeah,
Okay.
I am really excited for Izopunk to pick up Girls in a Dungeon season 3, which will essentially cover volume 9 through 11 of the light novel, and it's gonna be amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, that's good. I need to catch up on Haikyuu, which
Mm-hmm.
is the more Q, a Great Pretender. I've already mentioned how much I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about this show until I actually saw B talk about it. Kami-sama ni Natahi, or The Day I Became a God, or The All-Knowing God. I don't remember what the English title is, but it's a key visual adaptation, and it looks cute, and I know nothing about it, but I'm hoping it is good.
Mm-hmm.
Higurashi no Nakokoro ni. I'm tempted, but I don't know if anyone has seen Higurashi no Nakokoro ni. It's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch, especially because they had limited budget, so like so much of it is left up to your imagination. The English title is When They Cry. I just realized, I'm like, oh wait, that show does have an English title. It's really good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sit again because it was hard enough the first time. There's one about a witch traveling around. That one looks cute. It's called Majo no Tobitabi. Looks cute. New Inuyasha season. I hate to admit I'm hype as
Wait, Inuyasha's back? Oh, wait,
Yeah.
that's right.
daughters. It's about their daughters. It's gonna be great.
Wow.
Higurashi. Yeah, it hurts for sure. I'm pretty sure there's one other.
Wait, so for the Inuyasha one, so the was it the original creator like just continued the manga basically?
I don't think they actually continued. I think it's technically original.
Oh, okay.
Nobody knows anything about it other than there are twins. Sesshomaru had twins, and Inuyasha had a daughter. With spoilers for a show that's been out like at least 15 years. The main girl. And it looks cute as hell, and I am excited because like I always thought my love for Inuyasha was cringe because I stopped at a point where it was like, oh, now you just keep getting a more powerful attack, and I got bored. But having rewatched a chunk of the show, it's actually really good. Like
I really
really
liked
good.
it too. I watched it a bunch when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember disliking Kagome as an adult. Now what a child she is, and how wow, this is actually really well done. I didn't give the show enough credit when I was.
I mean, she was technically a kid in that show too. Like, I mean, she was still.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean though. Like, one of those things when you're a kid, you don't necessarily notice how childish some of the characters are acting. And yeah, no, it's just really good, and I love it, and I'm really looking forward to the new season, even though I've never finished original Inuyasha, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh, you never watched the final act or whatever the last arc was?
Didn't have a way to.
It was actually it used to be when I was in college, because I somehow stumbled across it, the final seasons, and it was on Hulu for free, like back when like you didn't have to sub for anime on that. You could just literally watch it like ad free.
Must be nice being an American who can have Hulu.
I mean, it's different now, obviously, but like 10 years ago, like that wasn't the case, and you could just like watch all the anime you wanted on there, and I don't know. So that was how I finished the series. Just like watch it sub.
Yeah, no, that's the way to do it. I know right now Crunchyroll is slowly putting up the rest of Inuyasha. I think 50 episodes are up currently. I think the entire show is around 150, so it's going to be a while before I legitimately finish the show. But yeah, I've been enjoying it, and it is fun to watch older shows occasionally. Apparently Bleach is coming back. I never watched Bleach, so I did read a bit of the manga, but stopped because the guy I was dating just stopped lending it to me, and I didn't give a shit enough to ask.
The first couple arcs in Bleach are good, but then after that it's just kind of boring and repetitive, and there's a lot of filler. There's a shit ton of filler in Bleach too.
Yeah. That's part of the reason I don't like shonen, is that they tend to have, because they were animating week to week and they get ahead of the source material. So that's why I like my my shoujo, which tends to be, here you go, here's your 12 episodes, here's your heart, I'll show it to you beating outside of your chest before I crush it. and it's all good. Everyone's good.
Yep. And then one last thing before we wrap this up here. Yeah, because you mentioned that you would write about your like first impressions and stuff, because you have a blog where you would do your own little reviews and stuff. Do you still do that, or do you plan on bringing that back?
I don't still do it because I am lazy, but I do tend to just bring it to Twitch. And when I watch shows, I tend to just talk about them on Twitch, and I get very opinionated. And there are certain topics that are forbidden because I won't shut up about them.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very good and talked about them here and not rambled on for 2 hours, so that's good. But yeah, no, I did enjoy writing the thing, but in the end, I'd much rather just talk to people and be like, oh, I saw that show and I liked it for this reason, or I didn't see that show, or I watched that show but I stopped halfway through the first episode because it's bullshit. Like, there's a show called Monster Doctor earlier this season, and considering I've already told you about fan service, considering it starts with a character being examined, I dropped that show within seconds.
Well, isn't there usually like a 3-episode rule or whatever? Isn't that how it works?
I think the 3-episode rule is good for shows you're on the fence about. Some shows you know immediately that it's not your jam, and just don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't bother. Don't waste your time.
Right.
The 3-episode rule is a good one for shows where like I like where they're going, but I don't know if I like the show. Because yeah, if I gave 3 episodes to every single show every season, I don't have that kind of.
I hear you, but so no plans for writing more.
No, probably not. I just talk about it on the Twitch, or even Twitter. I usually, if I can fit it, give my opinion on a show in a tweet. My Twitter is the exact same handle as my Twitch. That's handy.
Exactly, and give her a follow on there. Give her a follow on her Twitch channel, on her, like she said, Twitter, Instagram, wherever she may be.
Yeah.
Instagram, but yeah.
I always forget it exists.
But yeah, so I think that's all I got for this evening. So again, like, thank you so much for coming on for this chat. Really appreciate it. I
just want to see if I can quickly get the sparkle to show up on camera. I don't know if it will, because I added a shit ton. I added so much. And usually at the end of here, before we completely wrap up, if anyone has any questions for Kat before we sign off, before we raid off to somebody, if you'll all hang on for a little bit longer. But yeah, anyone in the chat have any art related questions, anything regarding her Twitch channel, anime, what have you? What might you have for otherwise? If not, then we can wrap this up. But yeah, and you did a killer job, and thank you so much for doing an illustration on here for us, like, and especially for a character you were like on the fence about too. Like she can actually hold it a little closer. Yeah.
To the camera once you're done.
Let's see. Once I'm done cutting. Okay. Well, I only half finished cutting.
They came out awesome.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. Yeah. She's a fun character. Mm-hmm. There we go. Yeah, there. Now you can see the glitter. Look at all that sparkle.
Nice.
That's some good sparkle.
Yeah, that came out fantastic.
Why is it Oron? It is Oron. It is 100% Oron. He is the best boy. He is best boy because he is in red, and he wears his kimono like his arm, his sleeve. It's good. I definitely also best song.
I definitely agree. Oron is he's definitely like one of my personal favorite Final Fantasy characters overall too.
Everyone is better than Tidus.
Yep.
And I know most people. I only say Tidus because that one stupid commercial.
I still say Titus.
I tend to default to Titus. I know it.
I know the voice actor. What's his name? I can't think. Yeah. I can't think of his name, but anyway, he's the voice of Ratchet too, from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan Kenobi in Clone Wars.
Cool.
So James Arnold Taylor, that's who it is. So, and he says it's Titus because that's what they told him what it was. But I'm still like,
Yeah.
It's Titus, man.
Titus is better than Van. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know. I don't really care for Vaughn at all. Like he's.
Yeah. Again, I think we talked about recording, but the thing that annoys me about FFX is that it tries to make Titus the main character, and he's not. He's not. Yuna's the main character. Titus could be out of the plot and nothing would change.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then same problem with 12 is Vaughn is the main character, except for he's not. You can take him out of the plot and nothing would change.
Exactly. Like it really should have been. I mean, for 10, it should have been Yuna as main character. It was her journey. And then it should have been in 12. It should have been Ash. Ash or Balthier.
Yeah, exactly. One of those two would have been both. Like they can both be the main character. Yeah. But not Vaughn.
Yeah. Or even what's his name? Who's the older character? I'm blanking.
The other one.
The one who was framed.
Right? Or
was it?
Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Bosch, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
I think Bosch was supposed to be the main character, but then I think like the execs at Square were like, "Hey, we need young kids as the main."
Yeah, we need a teenager because we don't have enough protagonists who are teenagers.
Yeah, no one will ever buy a game with an older dude as as the main character. Like, what are you thinking?
Said Adel is 27 or 28 in. Adult adventurers, please, thank you. When you have Daddy Bosch, yes.
Exactly, Trav.
But yeah, I don't know if it was just fine. Because they've done it before. 6 had a female main character.
Yeah, true. And then 13 with Lightning. Although that game should have been handled a little better, but.
So funny story about 13, if we have time. I Xbox, and then I got to the open field area out of the hallway, and I had to return it, and then I got back from returning it, the Xbox red ring.
Oh no.
I lost all the progress on it, and I was like, I don't care to do 20 hours of not being able to pick my party and going through a hallway. Yeah. Like, I didn't hate the game. I think the combat does some interesting things, and the music is pretty good.
Yes. That's about it, though.
Yeah, that's about it. If it hadn't been so hallway, like, so blatantly hallway, and such short hallway in between you like Snow? I like Snow too, but I only ever played a bit of 13. I never played any of the later ones where apparently he's the jerk face. I liked Hope too.
I thought Hope was just like Titus times like 10.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was literally like the same, like, well, not like, well, it was like, you know, obviously he's grieving over, spoilers, he's grieving over his mom, but
yeah,
and blaming Snow for it, but I don't know, but yeah, he still like has like the temper tantrums like Titus, and it's just got a little grating for me. So
when it comes to 13, I'm not a big fan of Vanille, but not because of any other reason than I don't like how she acts. I don't like how her acting, essentially. I don't think she's a bad character, but yeah. Did I like 15? Yes, with an asterisk. My favorite character is the driver, and so when they took my driver away from me, I stopped playing. I'd go to it. I haven't.
It was actually one of the saddest moments of that game.
Okay. I'm not going to spoil what happens in that game, and I'm not going to spoil that moment. But I am going to say, oh my god, he just went through a lot, and they're giving him a real fucking hard time about it, and it's bullshit. They are treating him like he has lost nothing because Ignis got hurt. And I'm like, okay, but he also lost everything, literally. Everything. And you guys are not being very compassionate about this bullshit, and I don't like it, and that's when I stopped playing.
Yeah. Episode Ignis is one of the most emotional things I've ever played. That DLC hurt.
I haven't played it.
Yeah, I platinum vanilla and I never looked back.
Oh, I will. I keep telling myself beat it. I'll beat it one day, just like I'll play FF7R without helping my brother get through it. I'll do it one day, maybe, probably not.
Also, well, I guess before we wrap up too, what was your overall impression of 7 Remake? And do you like the direction they're going with it?
So I technically didn't play 7 Remake. My little brother.
But like you,
no.
but you still experience the story. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting at. So like, I didn't play it myself, but I watched my brother play the because my as you can hear, he is nonverbal and he has some trouble reading. So and he doesn't necessarily know what to do in puzzles. So I was there helping him the entire time. I did play through the motorcycle bit, and I helped him with the final boss. Other than that, I was just kind of watching. I really, 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 really liked the direction they're going. I have kind of mixed feelings about 7 because, fun fact about me, I'm afraid of space. And I found that out kind of sort of at a young age when Sephiroth does the big bad attack and I had a panic attack and literally hard turned off the PS2 and left my room and wouldn't come back and had a good cry. So I don't have the best memories with 7. It's not my favorite in the series at all. I think what they did with 7 Remake was masterful. I love the expanding of the characters, the expanding of the story. I'm worried about how many games it's going to take to actually get the story done. But I think what they have shown so far is the best thing that they could have done to shut up the nerd boys because, oh my god, they can be so annoying.
Yep. I mean, fans of that game especially are, super hardcore.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't wait for Best Boy Vincent. I'm curious on how they'll do that. I can't wait. I love how everyone played differently.
Yeah.
Because again, I did help with the final boss, so I do know how they play. I also helped with the Tonberry random boss fight thing. That was fun.
Yeah.
I really, I thought the music was amazing. I thought, you know what the most brilliant thing about that game was? The demo made it seem like it was just a remake of the.
Yep.
And then you pop in the real game and you see that new intro and you're like, oh, I see what you're doing here. I thought that was.
I mean, it takes a while for you to like realize what's. I mean.
For sure, like you don't realize that.
Well, try not to spoil for everybody and that hasn't played it yet that wants to play it, but.
Yeah, but they do some fun things and it's great.
Yeah.
I understand why some of the nerd boys are annoyed or don't like the direction it's going. They are wrong. They're allowed to be wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. No, I really enjoyed 7R. I thought I was going to hate it. I didn't actually, because I knew I wasn't going to be playing it, I didn't chip in monetarily at all to it. I was like, you want this game? I don't want this game. I don't even want to play this game. They said they put more space in. I don't want more space. I want less. So yeah, I just helped him play and I was like, man, I'm probably going to play this myself eventually because he didn't do any of the side quests. He made Aerith and Cloud have awful outfits.
Aerith, you mean?
Sure.
That would have been funny if they actually let you like pick.
That would be funny if they're like, okay, nerds, pick. Give it. Just you pick. It's not our problem. You pick.
Yeah.
But I also it just looked so pretty, and I was worried it was going to be dark gray and gritty because of the more realistic tone. But no, there's some beautiful moments at Eric's house, like stunning, absolutely stunning. So yeah, 7R, good time. I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan though, so like, take it or leave it.
Yeah. But you know he's. Yeah, still liked it, and I enjoyed my playthrough of it too. I don't know where. I mean, it's kind of like as I like 7, but it's not my favorite of the series. Not that goes to 9, 9, and then 10.
I actually think 10 is my favorite because of the combat system and being able to swap your party members on the fly. And the music, like to Xanarkand, perfection. You're done. Magnum opus. You're done.
For me, it's
because of space. I saw a speed run where she was, and I nope.
For me, it's Spira Unplugged, the guitar track that plays when you're in Besaid.
Yes, that's a good one too. There's so many good songs in
but,
and also the song, the prayer song, amazing.
The Hymn of the Faith.
Yes, thank you.
I got you.
You got me because I'm terrible at remembering names of songs and things.
No, it's all good. But yeah, so
I'm
I won't.
but one day.
Yeah, so I won't keep you any longer. We've been talking for a few hours now, but seriously, thank you again so much for jumping on here. Seriously, means a lot.
I'm sorry I finished the 2 hours in. I thought I was gonna take longer, but then I didn't.
No, it's fine, and like I said, it came out awesome. Came out fantastic. I love your Lulu creation. One of my favorite Final Fantasy characters, and even though you were on the fence about it, but you still did it anyway, and it came out awesome. So, yeah, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, no, any time.
And
your brother's just having a good old laugh. He's
and
usually not crazy too. I thought it was gonna be fine, but apparently nope.
And yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. If you'll bear with me for a little bit, let's see who's on that we can throw the raid ski at. Let's see. Who's on? I gotta pull up the big list. I hate how in Creator Dashboard it only gives you like 4 channels and that's it.
Yeah, I don't like that either because then it's like, well, no, and it always gives first, and I'm like, I want to support my small friend, which is
exactly. Exactly. Let's see.
My Travis votes for either Jax or Trip.
Actually, I haven't rated my friend Highlash yet. She's playing WoW right now, and she popped in earlier, so I wanted to pop into her. So
who support you?
And she's right on the cusp of hitting affiliate too, so I think that'd be fun to see what she's doing over there. So yeah, let's go pop in, say hello to her, and yeah, like I said, thanks again everybody for hanging out. It's been another fun episode of the KoppsCast with our special guest, Kat.
That's me.
And of course, thank you, Shelby, for that 4-month sub. Thank you, of course, Lash threw us 100 bits, and Kiro, thank you for the 4-month sub as well. And we had a new follower today too, so thank you everybody.
Yes, and
Trav,
thank you for on my side. That was fun for showing a peek behind the curtain on how we were capturing.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, Kiro, Trav, Darren, Jordan, B, all the friends. Thank you for hanging. Pixel. Seriously, means a lot that y'all hung out. Robbie was in here. But yeah, and of course tomorrow for Friday, Shane will be on Modest Millhouse. He's usually on. Are you on tomorrow, Kat?
No, I have a wedding to stream, so I'm gonna be MIA tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll give her a follow anyway. Check her out over there.
I will
Deadpan,
be
thanks
doing
for
the
hanging out,
Quest
buddy.
Request stream on Tuesday, so that'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel if you want to request a sketch like that.
Nice. All right, we're going in a few seconds, so see you later, everybody.